What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at @6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. What's good? Sixth element of hip hop, baby. You are in the right place. I am your host, Reno Noir, and this is your co-host, Stu Dog. What's up, my man?
What's up?
See, I did real smooth like a radio DJ from the morning show. What's going on, man? It's Martin. Yeah, like little Breakfast Club show or something. But it's Martin Luther King Day, MLK Day, and I always get super nostalgic and homesick on this day because in the South, and I don't know because I was a little kid in New York, but every MLK Day, like our hood got. I mean, the whole Martin Luther King Avenue for miles was blocked off, and it was just a car show, candy paint, 30-inch rims, depending on the era, and just end to end for miles, candy paint, just cars going up and down, crowd, the whole community out, everybody just block party, barbecue food trucks and trailers with giant drum barbecue, rib grills and stuff, selling rib plates. I mean, it's just. They call it MLK parade. Did 2 times a year. It was Easter parade and the MLK parade were the 2 times that we did that. And I know they do that in the South a lot. Because I know the 2 cities in the South that I lived in, that was a staple. What about Jersey? What do y'all get down like that? What do y'all do?
Now they usually will have like a memorial service. They'll have like a some type of tribute downtown somewhere, mostly in like this like North. Like you can go to North and they'll have something popping, and Philly. So those are the two hot spots. Philly usually will have something, and they'll have like I don't know. They have food drives. They have all kind of trash. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was just happy because if you were African American, all schools in all African American neighborhoods didn't go to school. We didn't go to school that day. Every other school did.
Oh, word? Only the black schools didn't?
Yeah, we were the only ones that didn't. We didn't go to school. Wow. The teachers had off because remember, you gotta remember it wasn't they didn't recognize it as a nobody recognized it as a national holiday. It was on the calendar, but a lot of states didn't.
Right. I mean, in the South, it's a big deal. I mean, obviously, that's where he was doing.
That's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal here.
I know.
I wish we would have had a parade. Yeah, I wish we'd have had a parade. It would always be somebody come and speak. Like somebody famous would come and speak somewhere where they do a memorial service. It was always cool. And like I said, I didn't get to go to school that day. I was happy, bro. I was like, what?
Right.
I got to school.
So, yeah, everybody's out on MLK. In Florida.
Okay. Now up here, it was selective, man. You had like if you went to school, like it depends on what school. So if you went to school like Pennsbury, that's in Pennsylvania. They all went to school. They all had school. All those districts in PA had school.
Because I went to an all black high school, and I just remember maybe it was school and we just didn't go because. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, the MLK parade. I mean, cats would literally all year we would build up for that shit. Like cats would be getting their car ready all year for the MLK parade.
No.
New music, putting in new interior, getting new rims, working on their paint and shit, getting it all just for the MLK day, just for that one day. And yeah, man, it would just be live. I mean, everybody, from grandparents to babies. And everybody in between. And then, at night, I ain't gonna say only at night, but at night it really got off the chain. That's when the old folks sort of went home and the babies went home. And that's when the young folk do our thing and yeah, it would get shit would pop off. You know what I mean?
They
It
get
would
crazy,
always
huh?
pop off. Always
They
pop off.
crazy on
You know.
MLK Day,
But
huh?
you know, for the most part, like honestly, violence would be down. You wouldn't be no gunshots or like nothing like that on that. The Easter parade, I can't say that. Like the Easter parade shit end up popping off. Somebody gonna always pull out and go to busting, but not
Yeah.
MLK.
They
MLK
got
Day,
pipe, they got popping out there on Easter Sunday, huh?
always. But yeah, man, MLK uh was just the shit, man. I miss it because I mean, up here, and I live in a all black city pretty much here in Virginia, and there's nothing going on today. Nothing.
No,
No, nothing going on.
they ought to be ashamed of themselves in that time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Not
know if
them.
there's anything. Maybe the church. There's for this little town, it's 66%, I think, something like that, African American, and there's probably a church on every block, and so maybe there's some stuff going on at churches, but I mean, like community wise, neighborhood wise, big block parties, none of that shit's going down. But in the South, they doing that. Like right now, it's popping in the South. I know for a
Yeah,
fact.
that's crazy.
Florida. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, they
crazy, man.
they having
Nah,
good
like I
time.
said, here it's just you gotta go to you gotta go to. I mean, they always did something. I'm from Trenton, so they always did something here.
Mm-hmm.
North
Mm-hmm.
Philly, those would be the spots you'd had to go. Unless they did something, special, like the whole state. That
Yeah.
never really that didn't start happening until they made it like a national holiday. I
Right.
mean, recognized it as a national. That's when that started
Right.
happening like that. But it didn't happen like that before that, man. And it's sad that it didn't. But even when it did, remember Arizona didn't want to wreck the governor of Arizona.
Yeah.
Still, even though the government signed it into,
Yep.
to which I mean perdition. Um, they didn't want to. They didn't want to do it. He was like, "Nah, I ain't doing that." Public Enemy made a song about it. It was like, when I get to Arizona.
Right. And I mean, whatever your opinions are or whatever, and whether you're Nation of Islam or Malcolm X or whatever, like Martin Luther King, for whatever his faults or whatever, he made a lot of bridges. You know what I'm saying? He connected a lot of people. He brought a lot of people together. He definitely, um, had a positive impact, I think, on civil rights and segregation, um, just relationships between white and black. Period. He definitely had a lot to do with
Yeah,
that,
he
man.
did. He had a
And
huge. He had a huge impact. Huge impact
huge,
on
yeah. And they,
civil
you know,
rights,
they
man.
killed him.
Matter of fact, they started the civil. He started the civil. He was one of the founding fathers of the civil rights movement. Um,
Right.
you know what I mean? Because you still had Jim Crow law in effect when he was born, and well into his early 20s, his
Mhm,
adult life,
mhm.
man. So they still had white and black drinking fountains and things like that. You couldn't eat in a restaurant. I mean, I don't. Nobody else in the world was doing that. Like, that's the crazy part. When you look at America, if you went
Right.
over to Europe, nobody did that. You could go to China, you can go to Australia, you can go to Canada. You didn't have to deal with none of that.
Nope.
Only in the United States, the North American continent, was it like that. And only in the South. It wasn't in the Northeast. It
Right.
wasn't out west, but only in the South. You know what I mean? So that's it would a lot of people don't understand it would be hard pressed to live in times like that, man.
Yeah, bro. I mean, shit was different, and it wasn't that long ago, man. It wasn't long ago.
Yeah, I say
People
about
act like,
60, 70, yeah, about 70
yeah,
years ago. This King would have
yeah,
been, what, 90, 92 today or something like that if he was alive.
uh, at least, yeah, yeah, and oh wow, here's what's open and closed on it. Okay, wow,
Yeah, because the King was what, 39 when he died? So yeah, he's been well into his 90s now. Yeah.
because that was 68. 20,
69, I think.
it's 50
69, I think.
years. Yeah, it's 50 some years. It was April 4th, 68 when they killed him. Right?
Yeah, 68. 68. He was 39. 68.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but we everybody's heard what my man Hardy Boy said. He's the reason we have civil rights, voting rights, housing rights, second Reconstruction. Stu, you're muted or something.
I was getting ready to say it. Thank you, Hardy Boy, for that. Because I was getting ready to say before he passed, he was really big uh on housing rights. Like he was really big on that. Like jobs and things like that, equality, giving people, of color
Redlining.
jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was really big on that, man, and fixing up. Like he was really big on because I think I got a documentary that I had bought a long time ago. I watched it. He said that I think he went to Chicago or Detroit or one of them, and it was some area he went. It was run down, bro. Like it was. I mean, it was really run down. And he was
Probably
like,
the
"Yo,
D.
this is." Yeah, he was like, "Damn, this is how they living." And people
Yeah.
couldn't get good jobs. They couldn't get jobs outside the hood, ghetto, and stuff like that. And so it was a vicious cycle we were stuck in after civil rights. I mean, after they started desegregating everything, they just put us in a vicious cycle that was still made to oppress us. So
Right. Exactly.
he was speaking out against that.
And everybody's heard, everybody. I think we've all, heard the I have a dream speech. I know a lot of us had to recite it in church or school or whatever. But so it's pretty, we know that one. So I wanted to maybe share some lesser known speeches that are just as impactful and all of that. And but one thing I did see was this quote, and I had to put it on the thumbnail because concerning the MCU and the DCU and the shit we talk about, it's just so poignant. My man said, "We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope." Uh, yeah, that says it all right there. But right before he died, so the day before he died, he did a speech called "I've Been to the Mountaintop," right? And then that's the one where you were saying what were you saying about it?
he, if you listen to it really closely, I never really did when I was younger, but when I got older, I did. He
Right,
kind of foretells his death.
right,
Um, and the way a lot of people said a lot. And in the documentary I got, they said that um, the day that he gave that speech, he didn't want to go. They said he didn't feel
mm,
good. He was under the weather, and I forgot what some reason he just got up and went. And he said, "You know what? I think I need to go make this speech. It might." And he said he was like, it might be my last one." And so he got up and he
wow,
went and he did the speech.
yep,
And they were saying like it was to them, like everybody that was with him, they said it was like one of the greatest speeches he ever gave that they had heard at the time. Because when you listen to it, he really, really talking like look, like I ain't gonna be here much longer.
right,
I was Hardy Boy, yeah. Like he
yeah,
was, he was talking like that. Like I ain't gonna be here much longer. I don't, but I know one thing. I was put here for what you got. And if you listen to that speech, you really, really listen to it. He basically saying bye. He's basically saying goodbye. Don't worry about him. And he ain't worried and he ain't scared to die. Like he knew he was gonna die. Like it was like he knew it was coming like it was coming down a pipe and death was on his door.
yeah. That's probably why
Yeah.
he
But this
probably why he felt like he didn't want to go at first because something in the subconscious was telling him he probably was going to get clipped, and he might have,
now
he
he
might have
just said
only
now they
heard
say he just didn't feel good. They say he just didn't feel good. They say he
right,
was under
right,
the weather, like
yeah,
he was in the bed, like he
right,
didn't want to go, and this was like they were saying this was like a big like this church was waiting for him to come, like they wanted him there,
right, right.
and he promised him he's gonna be there, and you could be right too, he could have felt it, yeah, he could have felt it
I
could
mean,
have
you
been a
never
thing
know,
like that,
but
yeah. Nah, you
well,
don't
let's
know, but
listen
they
to it.
said that
We can
yeah, they
listen
said
to
that
it.
when he
Go ahead, go ahead. You said what?
yeah, they said but when he got up, he got energized, and when he got to the church, he just got more hype, and he gave that speech, and they said he left. And
Yeah.
that was the last speech he gave, man.
And and the next day he got shot on the balcony. The next day, this was
Yeah.
April. So this was
Oh,
April 3rd, 1968. It's the "I Have a Mountaintop" speech, just 3 minutes long. Um, we'll give it a shot. See if YouTube allows us to play it. Y'all know how they get down. So,
yeah,
all
yeah,
right,
they do. Yeah.
I mean, let's run it. Let's run it. And then we
Yeah.
got and we got our regular scheduled content. We definitely gonna talk comics. I got some amazing news about the Invincible show. We're gonna talk about, and then Devil Dinosaur, Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur. We got a lot of stuff we're gonna get into. Marvel's Phase 5 timeline, all of that good stuff. But
Yeah, yeah,
just
we definitely gonna get into that. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But in honor of Martin Luther King, we gonna play this one speech because, like I said, it's not as well known as "I Have a Dream," and it's just as powerful. So let's bust it. Here we go. It's 3 minutes.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper.
Okay.
If I lived in
Third.
China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right.
Yes, sir. Oh, you can unmute your mic too, also, and fly over.
So just as I say, we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Oh, man, and then April 4th.
Yeah. That hotel is a museum now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna tear it down, and everybody made it into a museum.
This is a CBS News special report.
Dan Rather reporting for CBS News from New York. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was shot to death by an assassin late today as he stood on a balcony in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. King had planned to lead another civil rights march in Memphis next Monday. We got the latest on the story now from Russ Hodge, news director of WREC-TV.
Moment of silence, man. Straight up. Salute, salute. What's good, Slade? Yeah, man. powerful.
It's a powerful speech, bro. It's powerful words.
Yeah,
Powerful
man.
speech, man. And like I said, when you really sit down and you listen to it, and
Nah,
take
he.
into account all
Yeah, I
what
mean,
happened, man,
it was so.
he
Yeah, that was taking account what happened. Him getting killed the next day. It was crazy of him saying that. Like, I'm not afraid of no man. You know
I
what I
ain't
mean?
afraid
Like,
to die. Right?
not.
He was just telling you, right? I know him, like, I know I'm going to heaven. I know I'm like I ain't afraid to
He's
die.
like, it ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? I might not make it there with you, but as a people, we are gonna make it there. You know what I'm saying? That quotables.
Yeah.
Man, where do you go from there?
Bro, I don't know, man. It's just it's Martin Luther. He basically won that with what I mean, putting doing his thing like no violence.
Yeah,
He didn't want any violence. And it's hard to win a battle against an oppressor doing that. Like his whole approach that and they say he got it from Gandhi. Like
right. The
you know what I
nonviolence.
mean? Yeah, like that's in itself because when you got somebody coming at you with violence all the time, um, and then all of a sudden, your motive is to fight, not fight fire with fire. You know what I mean? But to just, take whatever they're given and hope for the best. I mean, that take a lot of courage, man, a lot of strength.
Word.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. I could sit there and say, well, I'm gonna turn the other cheek.
There's not
Uh,
many of us can. There's not many of us.
yeah. I would have been down with Malcolm's crew. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Yeah, like
Yeah,
at the time, like,
yeah.
especially when I was young. But yeah, but
I'd have been down with Huey. I'd have been down with Huey and Malcolm.
I
That
mean,
would have been that would have fit me better.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, but
You know.
and that's sort of the young. I don't know, like that's sort of the. I don't want to say the younger ideology, but as a young person, it's way more. You're way quicker to follow that sort of violent, aggressive way of doing things. When you get older, you start to be like, man, maybe it's another way we can handle this. We can talk it out. Like we can, figure this shit out without violence and getting, getting hurt, or whatever. But sometimes you just gotta do what
That's
you gotta do.
true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So
Well, it is Marvel's Phase 5. We're moving into Phase 5. Very excited about that. Good shit.
mm,
There's the MCU right there. Most of the players of late. Well, that was the last phase, but they're releasing this. Oh wait, somebody just popped in, but this is cool. All right, Sada, what's good, girl? How you doing?
Hello, hello. Whew.
Happy MLK.
Yes, happy MLK Day, everybody. I did
We
catch the beginning.
Oh,
I
cool.
was making my way back, so I did hear everything.
Yo, shout out to Padakin, Padakin or Padakin. I don't want to mess your name up, fam. Over on Twitch, man. Salute. Yeah, because we simulcast to YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, all at the same time, and there's really no presence on Twitch yet, and it's extremely hard to break into Twitch, but it's just up there. So if people pop in, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll build up to something one day. But so we were talking about the MCU's next phase about to come up, Phase 5, and they're giving us they're releasing an official Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline book, and I guess it's going to be like a coffee table book or something, maybe like a big hardcover thing. In this year, after Phase 4's very confusing storytelling. But the sprawling and interconnected universe has been built on the base of like a single canon, and that has created an obsession about how the different movies and shows are connected. And Marvel has made keeping track of that timeline trickier thanks to Avengers Endgame, 5-year jump, and time jump, and then the introduction of the multiverse. And if you're not well versed in comics or sci-fi or whatever, it can be confusing. But this has created a lot of debate in the fandom about what the correct MCU timeline looks like, apparently. But confusion about the timeline obviously reached new heights in Phase 4. You had the YouTubers and the unofficial MCU wiki and others, attempted to piece together small clues for when various properties take place. And then the Disney Plus MCU timeline further complicates matters, because it holds multiple inconsistencies. But now, over 5 years after Kevin Feige said that the official timeline was being created for release, a new listing on Penguin Random House reveals that a book titled Marvel Studios: The Cinematic Universe, An Official Timeline, will be released this year. And the description for the book says, created in close collaboration with Marvel Studios, it will answer the biggest questions: what happened, when, where, and why. A September 5th, 2023 release date is listed right now. So September 5th. And the MCU timeline book is written by journalist Anthony Bresnikan, Amy Ratcliffe, and Rebecca Theodore Vachon. And MCU needs an official timeline after Phase 4. The planned release of an official MCU timeline book this year comes after they fucked everything up, Phase 4 movies and shows, and created all this confusion about when they take place and how they connect to each other. And while some of the earlier entries in the phase were very clearly defined, Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings raised some questions thanks to Bruce Banner's human appearance. And that was sort of explained in She-Hulk a little bit, but that Disney Plus show also broke the MCU timeline in other ways, like a potential reference to Spider-Man No Way Home's events. And then Marvel Studios now has the ability to clear up all this confusion with this new book. It would finally confirm, when something like Werewolf by Night takes place, or end the debate about how much time passed between Endgame and Thor: Love and Thunder, because it's not been clearly defined. So, since Marvel Studios is directly involved in the creation of this book, it's official, and it's not like some fan made it. So that's cool. And there's also room for it to answer questions about the timeline that go back before Phase 4, and if you can do that, I think the book would sell very well and settle lots of debates and be mad useful. And if we can get a copy, or if anybody watching right now wants to donate a copy to the Sixth Element, we'll definitely bring it on the show here and chop it up with you guys. But what do y'all think about that book?
I'm very interested to see how this is going to look. I mean, you got over a decade's worth of material you have to make sense. And I don't know. I think it's gonna spark more debates, because I guarantee whatever they put in that book is probably something in that book is gonna contradict what we have seen in the movies. I guarantee it, and that's gonna be funny. So I'm interested to see this book.
Right. Stu Dog, you want to get this book? You want to see it? You think they should have done it? Oh, is he talking? Maybe he's muted.
No, he's thinking. He's like, oh. Yeah, I don't know.
I might, man. I might. I'm thinking I might. It sounds cool. It does. It really does.
I don't know if I would buy it, but I think if I could just see it online, that's fine for me. I don't know if I really want my own copy.
you got a copy. You back there dancing with a copy.
This is the
nah. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, Reno. When you go online, it's a lot of there are a lot of people that try to piece the time the timeline together on
Yeah.
YouTube and things like that. And
Mhm.
even Disney has a chronological order of things. Disney Plus, like you go, there's a chronological order you can watch all the movies in.
Right.
Um, but it leaves more questions than answers.
All the
Oh,
time.
Like
always.
yeah, like all right, like I can think of three things right now. Um, all right, when T'Challa died, what was the Avengers at? We didn't see no Avengers at his funeral. None,
Right.
not one
Right.
Avenger.
Well, I can't wait to
Um,
see where the mutants are at. That's
and
what
I was
I
getting
can't.
ready. That
If
was
they
that was the
even
next thing
include them.
I was going to bring that up. Okay, we know. Is it a mutant gene that gives them their mutant powers, or is it cosmic energy that gives
We don't know.
them
Yeah.
on the Eternals?
Oh, yeah.
Because
We don't know yet.
If you look at Kamala Khan, she has a mutant gene, so they
Right.
say,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
activated through that bracelet. And what's the connection between that bracelet and the 10 rings? You know what I mean? You
And the
gotta
10
you
rings.
gotta ask.
Yeah.
You
And
got
the
Oh,
because
10 rings.
they pretty much work on the same, almost the same power, right? If you would,
yeah.
Mhm. And the
and then
and the
every
and
and then everything that happened in What If. So like now I'm hearing that they're gonna rush and not rush, but they have to push uh a Doctor Strange movie forward
Oh,
to because remember he created an incursion at the
yeah.
end of that last movie, and they
Yeah.
went to
yeah.
go fix it. So they were. I was reading the article. They said they have to go fix that incursion and get that because that's what's going to kick off this new set of whatever we're about to get, this phase
Oh.
4. And they said that Doctor Strange his to even get that out, like
Yeah.
it's just more questions.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
So much.
Well, this new book
questions.
could
All right.
actually this new book could further mess up the timeline because well the potential upside of
Right.
Marvel Studios releasing an MCU timeline book, also holds a lot of risks. As further confusion, resources like MCU Wiki, have scoured the movies and shows for details related to which, title takes place. And then the DCU MCU timeline is a sign that those within the fan community who meticulously pore over the content and Marvel Studios already
Ugh.
are not on the same page. And most will likely, will take whatever the official MCU timeline book says to be accurate. But inconsistencies could arise, especially if Marvel is now willing to confirm when mistakes have been made, like Spider-Man Homecoming. And just, I mean, but I think, but Marvel needs to do more stuff like this. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I like this because I want them to do things like this and also do things like put out an official book that gives official first appearances of characters because there's so many first appearance uh what do you call contradictions and disagreements and debates, like Gambit, which was his first appearance. There's so many and things like that the CGC, the the grading companies like CGC and CBCS, they decide what first appearances are, not Marvel. And that shit needs to stop because they're no better than a fan. They're not Marvel. They're just someone else that is deciding what they want to decide. And for things like that and things like this, Marvel should do more of this kind of thing and give official stuff out so that people can stop arguing and be like, listen, this is what it said in Marvel's book. So all that shit you talking is up, you know?
Yeah. I think like one of the biggest mysteries is like what the hell is going on with the Avengers right now because we
Right.
really haven't heard squat about them since Endgame. We don't know what they've been doing. Are they even still a team? Like where do they fit in all of this? Like when everything was
Right.
happening with WandaVision, where were the Avengers? Because I don't know
They
how
never
Vision's
showed up.
body
Right.
ended up back
Yeah.
in custody of the government and the Avengers didn't step in. Like that's one of the biggest things I hope they tackle in the book.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the most unanswered questions right now, at least for me.
Mhm. No, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And but they have given us a I guess you can call it a trailer. It's just a little silly video. But I'll run that right now. So this is their phase 5 little video. Here we go. This is their Phase 5, I guess, timeline. So it's just Phase 5, and I think it's being it's being narrated by you remember the little clock on Loki? What was her name?
Time. What was it name? Time something.
Some whatever. But she's
Mr. Time or something like that. I know
yeah, Mrs. Time. But it's a little, it's a little female clock. So, but I've slowed it down and changed the pitch, so hopefully YouTube won't flag it because I've altered it, I've edited it, I've made it my own piece of art, so I should be able to show it. So here we go.
I'm Miss Minutes, and it's my job to catch you up, so let's not waste another minute. Settle in, sharpen your pencils, and check this out.
That was weak as hell, Marvel. That was weak.
Yeah, they don't have much footage wise. They don't have much to show for right now. We only got 3 movies this year.
Yeah, no, it was cool, but yeah, it was weak as far as content. There wasn't much there. I mean, we've seen all that shit in the trailer, so I don't know, Marvel. We'll take it. We'll take it. Whatever. But yeah, man. Doctor Strange 3 introduced audiences. You know, Doctor Strange gave us the multiverse in the first movie, and then the second film showed us like the infinite number of multiverses and how they're interconnected. And with the start of the second part of the multiverse saga, new rumors that Doctor Strange 3 will be coming much sooner than anticipated. It's actually getting fast tracked. Yeah, and I'm not sure, but the online talk suggests that Benedict Cumberbatch might be returning for the third movie. You know, before the release of Kang Dynasty, the Avengers Kang Dynasty in May in 2025. Insider Jason Kane revealed on Twitter that Marvel is adding movies to its slate for Phase 5 and 6 and has decided to fast track Doctor Strange 3.
Oh boy.
Yeah, right. So what is the leaker said on the tweet, he said shift in movie slate 2025 will now be Phase 4, Armor Wars, likely Spider-Man 4 and Shang-Chi 2. Oh, Fantastic Four, not Phase 4, sorry. So 2025 will now be Fantastic Four, Armor Wars, likely Spider-Man 4 and Shang-Chi 2. Marvel has decided to fast track another Doctor Strange movie to come before Kang Dynasty. They want Derrickson to return. And
also, I also heard, Reno, that they're gonna also heard too that they want to Armor Wars is going to be a movie now. They wanted to make it a TV show, so it's going to be a movie now.
Yeah.
Good for him for getting a movie out of that.
And that Tony Stark, and that when Robert Downey Jr. said he was going to be back, that's what he was talking about. And they said that
I can see that
he'll be back. He'll be back as an AI, like he'll be back as an AI of himself instead of a character, instead of like a full-fledged character. And he'll be, hopefully we'll see how that works out. But I don't know who's going to be the star of that movie.
Oh boy!
Pull that off, man.
Any news reports, if it comes out and confirmed that RDJ is back, unfortunately, he's going to be the star of the film in the public's eyes. So that's just probably how it's going to go. I mean, as far as Doctor Strange, I mean, this is the problem I have because they don't treat Doctor Strange like a character. He's always a vehicle or a bridge between one major part of the MCU and another major part. I mean, when they brought him in initially, it was to introduce really and truly like the cosmic stuff to get ready for Infinity War. And then when we had him again in Multiverse of Madness, he didn't really develop as a character. He didn't move forward. He was just there to bring the multiverse in and set that up. And now if he's going to come back again before King Dynasty is going to be the set, whatever the hell is going on with that, it's just going to be, he's going to be there to be a bridge. They never treat him like a character, which is why he has been the same person since 2016. So
no development.
Development.
I don't know. You know, I don't know. That's why that fast track worries me a little bit.
I'm with you there. Anytime they're talking about fast tracking a movie, you know that it's probably gonna suck. But Scott Derrickson is the director from the first Doctor Strange movie, which I like. I like the first movie. And then he was replaced by Sam Raimi for the second film, which was, I mean, Sam Raimi put his twist on it, and I love the Sam Raimi stuff in the movie, but there was a lot of other shit wrong with that movie.
The real issue with that was the writing. It was simply awful for the second film. So hopefully they step it up. You know, that's the, you know.
Well, there was concept art for his original plans for Doctor Strange 2 that went viral online, and that sort of got fans excited about the news that the original director is returning for this third movie. And prior to the release of Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness movie, Kevin Feige described Benedict Cumberbatch as the anchor of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the only actor capable of guiding us through the madness of multiverse. And he said madness of the multiverse, not multiverse madness. But
madness.
That quote and what you just said, Sada, about him not really being a character, being sort of a vehicle, it's telling, because think about what he said: the anchor of the Marvel Universe. Something that doesn't change, something that is solid. It's sort of there to carry us, and that's but
and they also have to do it too, Reno, to bridge the gap between What If and the MCU. Like some of the stuff that happened, because none of the stuff in What If is canon for the MCU.
Yeah,
and a lot of stuff that happened. I don't know. I know for a fact none of it is canon.
Yeah,
because it came before the Doctor Strange movie, and he was already experimenting with making himself more powerful. And then when we got in the movie, that powerful version of him was in the movie. So,
well,
we'll see what happens.
We might get that character development side of that you're looking for, because what Benedict Cumberbatch said recently about the future of his character, he said, "I really can't wait to see what the fan reaction is to this and where it takes Strange and who he is by the end of the film. But I think it really sets him up for a really exciting future." So maybe he does change by the end. And then he added, "I'm not tired of it at all yet. I really enjoy playing this character, and I've still got a lot left to give as him and a lot more adventures I want to have with him." So maybe he is going to change or have some development or whatever.
I hope so.
I do too. I'm with you.
Like even in the second film, like he never talked about the events of Endgame and how that impacted him, because he was really the one that made that ultimate decision that impacted billions of lives. And and he just like
wait a minute. So didn't in the beginning the one dude, when he was in the church, then the one guy asked him about it.
But that was like the only conversation, I thought it would be something bigger, because literally that was the most impactful thing that's happened in the MCU in quite a while. So, and it's shaping everything that's happening now. I just thought that would carry on throughout the film a little more, especially with multiverses and stuff. I just needed more than that little conversation. So maybe we'll get something. Maybe.
Fingers crossed. But if the rumors are true about that Doctor Strange 3 will be released ahead of Avengers Kang Dynasty, then Disney and Marvel have some reshuffling to do. and Kevin Feige's D23 presentation of the Phase 6 roadmap had some free slots. Remember, had those blank spaces.
Mm-hmm.
But the roadmap did not account for Armor Wars being made into a film, the upcoming Deadpool 3 movie, and they've already moved the timeline once to account for the delay of Blade. And then they added the rumored Shang-Chi sequel, the Eternals sequel. Why? And it looks like the current slate is full, and then there's also rumors that Spider-Man 4 will be inserted in Phase 5 and possibly delay the release of the Thunderbolts towards the start of Phase 6. So it's gonna change some shit, and that's why, like, I'm surprised that they're gonna commit to like a book.
I know, like, that's so crazy.
Maybe that's why, Reno. Maybe they're committing to the book because they're like, look, somebody got to explain this.
Well,
so
we gotta lock
we
it
just
down.
can't.
I just hope that book,
we got somebody.
I just hope that book is phases 1 through 4 only, because if they put 5 in there, it's gonna change still. But that's what I'm saying. But you know, there's new reports, you know, suggesting that Marvel has plans to delay 3 of its TV shows to 2024 and beyond. And, you know, with all the additions and delays, I'm not going to be surprised if Marvel ultimately decides to push Avengers Kang Dynasty back to late 2026 and Secret Wars towards the summer of 2027.
They have to. You know, they have to.
It's
like I said a couple weeks ago, this next Marvel phase, they better knock it out the park.
Yeah, they gotta have banger. Banger.
They gotta knock it out the park. They gotta up the wow factor, because they just failed to do that in this last phase. Like a lot of people complain about Doctor Strange. They complained about you know, it was too much wokeness, it was too much this. All the movies, they complain about all the every movie we got. They complain about Thor: Love and Thunder. They people hate Thor: Love and Thunder. Can't stand it. Spider-Man was the only good movie we got. That's you know, according to the
and that's
public.
Sony, right? And that's Sony.
Right. That ain't even right. That's Sony. That ain't even Marvel. So it's like
MCU stuff that was good in Phase 4 is relegated to the shows, and only some of them. Only, like, I mean, even Moon Knight, I liked a lot more the first time. Now, when I watched it again, I was like, not as good as I thought. And then
now we know that's another
Loki
question
was good.
Moon Knight's another question that has to be answered.
Yeah,
because now
what's going on with him?
Moon Knight taught us one thing that they won't answer: that a god in the MCU or a deity can give you powers. So we have 3 of them. We have Moon Knight, we got Black Panther, and the other one was the hippo girl that gave the other girl her powers. Made it what did they call it?
Whatever her name was. Yes.
So now we know that. So what other you got to ask the question, what other ones get powers from gods like that? And I think I know for a fact that the introduction of Werewolf by Night gave us the supernatural side, and we should have got Werewolf by Night before we got Moon Knight.
Agreed.
Because now with Werewolf by Night, that brings in all the supernatural things that we get in the MCU that can't be explained. Like when Siri went to, like a lot of people ask the question, why didn't Siri go to the spiritual plane when she took the herb? She didn't go because she didn't believe in it. And remember, in Moon Knight, if you didn't believe in it, it just doesn't work for you. And so that's why she saw Killmonger, and that's what Killmonger told her. That's why Killmonger didn't go to the spiritual plane, because he didn't believe in it. He actually not only didn't believe in it, but he didn't know much about it. So that's why he couldn't go to the spiritual plane either. You have to be a believer in order and dedicated to it in order to go. And the only thing Siri ever talked about, even in the first movie, was, I don't think that's all that true. And that's why she was so upset when she went to the spirit, because she never got to go to the spiritual plane and see her brother. Had she did, she would have saw him. But since she didn't believe, that's why she didn't see him. But we know, because of Moon Knight, that these places do exist. We know that for a fact. Marvel's got to explain that. That's got to be explained.
Right.
Yeah.
And then where have the Egyptian deities where have they been all this
Where the
time?
rest
You
of them,
know,
right? And where the
going
rest of the
on?
deities,
Where have the
right? Where the
Eternals
rest of
been
the
all
deities.
this time? Like,
Where's En Sabanur? That's what we want to know.
Thank
yeah,
you,
Fucking
right?
apocalypse, baby.
Thank you.
man,
So
oh
you
man,
got
they
it,
got their
man.
work cut out for them with Phase 4 because, good lord.
Yeah, man. It's
And
a
and
lot.
I think that's why
And
James Gunn is taking his time, or not taking his, but doing things the way he's doing it. I just read an article today. He said that he's not that right now, as of right now, until they're done writing a script or almost done writing a script for the next Superman movie, they will not announce another Superman or who's going to be Superman. Period. And he said, depending on how the script goes or what he's writing, Henry Cavill could be. And he said, and they're saying that he's mad because it's just so much, not mad, but there was so much backlash from the fans that he's like, all right, look, I'm going to write the script first, and then we'll make a
yeah,
decision on
well,
whether we're going to bring him back.
they're
Or
not gonna like.
now he did
He,
say,
he knows
he
that
did
they're not
say,
gonna like anything he does because they're just gonna be mad that he fucking booted Cavill. Some people
he
are just
booted
gonna
Cable,
not
right?
even give it a chance.
Yeah.
Right. Now
Nah.
he did say that he is going to cast a younger Superman. That is a thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But he did
Well,
say
Kevin
that Cavill
Feige.
is not all the way out.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he did say that he's not announcing anything, that we won't hear anything until
yeah.
after he's done writing the script or whatever he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Or any other character. Matter of fact, or any other character in the whole DCU. There will
yeah.
be there's no one out. They're not even. He said he's not even going there until they're done. You know, the writing part. Once he said they're done that, that's when they'll go and tell you who's going to be who's going to be what. But he said you won't get nothing before that.
Yeah, the conversation to name the single most successful producer in the history of the motion picture business is an incredibly short one because the answer is Kevin Feige. In less than 15 years, Hollywood's favorite baseball cap enthusiast has evolved from an unproven and untried producer tasked with overseeing a startup studio, missing the rights to the majority of its most recognizable characters, and transformed into the most consistent hit factory of the industry that has ever seen. Across 30 features, Marvel Cinematic Universe has hauled in an astonishing $28 billion, a number that will have comfortably exceeded $30 billion by the end of 2023. On top of that, Disney Plus expansion has helped turn the Mouse House streaming service into a must-have platform for the rival Netflix, and he ain't done yet. However, because there are some people out there who didn't enjoy Phase 4 very much, a Reddit thread has emerged to try to gauge whether or not there's a groundswell of support behind the idea of seeing Feige bow out as the architect of the MCU. And as you can imagine, the answer is a resounding no. Ironically, James Gunn has been getting the exact same treatment over at DC Studios, with the notable caveat that Feige's protege has been in the job for a cup of coffee. It isn't easy to build an empire, but Marvel's chief creative officer made it look incredibly easy, and there's not a soul in a grand calculus of the multiverse better suited to the job. That was an article. That was an article on what you call it. We Got This Covered by Scott Campbell that just came out today. This is Kevin Feige.
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, I could see that, but I mean, when you break it down, you just want to get to the basics of it. Not get too deep in the weeds. Phase 4 was a disaster for Marvel. It just was a straight disaster.
Yeah.
I think they learned their lesson, and I think that they're trying to do better this time around and take their time with it instead of rushing it. Hopefully they stay away from the politics in these next couple of movies. And they tried to make the one thing that really hurt them, and this is no lie, that they made the Marvel. It was Phase 4 is the MCU. That's just what it is.
MCU.
All of the male characters that you built up and made people care about, you pushed them to the back to build up powerful female characters that were stronger than their male counterparts and mattered more than their male counterparts. Thor: Love and Thunder is a perfect example of that. A lot of people put time and invested in Thor, and they wanted to see Thor at the forefront of the movie, and he wasn't. It's sad that it was that way, You got him, the Valkyrie girl. They just pushed Hemsworth to the back for almost all female cast when
Yeah,
it
well,
comes
they
to
ask.
Thor.
I mean, a lot of fans are asking if if Phase 4 and all the bullshit is maybe a sign that Feige should stand down and let somebody else give it a shot. But in the meantime, he's doing his thing. But he explained his motives for or sorry, he explained Kang's motives in Ant-Man 3. Um,
Kang is more just
yeah, Kang's motives. And we know that Jonathan Majors, Kang, will be the villain in the Ant-Man Quantumania movie, but as well as the rest of the multiverse saga to conclude with the Avengers Secret Wars. But why? Why? What does he want? We had Loki season 1, right? He made clear that Kang's not a guy you want in charge of time and space, but didn't get specific. He just said, you don't want this to happen, trust me, but didn't really tell us why. But um Feige did an interview with Empire magazine or whatever, and explained, like, why Kang is gunning for Ant-Man specifically this time around, and it is very much a factor in Kang's motive. Because he said Kang's a very powerful person, but when we meet him, he's in a position where he needs to get that power back. He has a ship and a device that would allow him to go anywhere and any when he wants if he can get it online. If only he had access to genius scientists with PIM particles. Sounds like the unintended consequences of Endgame's time travel.
Hmm.
And he also teased that we're not done seeing, the different variants, because Kang, He Who Remains, I think there's like 4 other ones. There's Kangs by different names. He's got an
yeah, there
Egyptian
is.
one. He was a pharaoh. Ramatut is one of his names.
Ramatut is
So
the most famous one probably.
yeah, yeah, and so Feige also said, he's a different type of villain, um, warring amongst themselves as much as he's warring with our heroes. So basically, all the different multiple Kangs, because I mean, think Rick and Morty, think the Citadel of Ricks, right, or whatever. There's all
Oh
these
yeah, yeah.
Kangs from all these different multiverses, and they're fighting each other for that top spot or whatever their motives are. Um, but they
And if
both
you if
use
you and if you think about what he said, if you watch the Ant-Man trailer and listen, he talks about killing the Avengers. When he said the Ant-Man, he said, "Which one of the Avengers are you that I killed?" And
yeah,
that's referring to different timelines. So he's
yeah,
killed the Avengers multiple times
yeah, and there's
during
been
multiple different timelines.
and
Mhm.
there's not only different Kangs, like different versions of him, but he uses the pronouns he and they when he's
And then yes,
so suggesting that some of the Kangs we encounter could be female or non-male. What and they'll do that. So that's all part of it. But
Kevin
John,
Feige. Kevin Feige. I
yeah,
feel like I don't know. I wouldn't mind if he like I don't want to say step down, but like take a step back, because I think
mm,
part of the issue was like he was stretched way too thin for phase
mm,
4. And you could tell. So I think I don't know. He should just take some kind of step back. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but it like somebody else has to be there. It can't all be on him. It's just too much. It's too much going on.
right,
Um, as far as Kang, that sounds really interesting what he was saying. I'm a little
yeah,
worried he felt the need to explain that, because I feel like, aren't we going to
yeah,
see that in the movie? So
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah, yeah. But but yeah, Feige's out here, he's explaining why Kang is the perfect villain and for the saga. He said he's the obvious choice as you're dealing with the multiverse. Kang allowed us to do a new kind of big bad. He's a different type of villain, warring amongst themselves as much as he's warring with our heroes. And he said Kang's a very powerful person, but when we meet him, he's in a position where he needs to get the power back. He's got a ship and a device that would allow him to go anywhere and any when he wants on the timeline if he can get it online. So he'll probably be trying to get his ship online. I mean, that'll be sort of his goal. So there'll be a lot of different things, but he said Kang adds tonal diversity, real conflict, and real friction. You're being introduced to a new vibration in the MCU. There's conflict, not just mano a mano, not just hero and villain, but your way of life and my way of life. I'm coming for it. We're in battle here. End quote. But
yeah, King is gonna be. I think he could be a breath of fresh air. I really do. I think that he was a good choice for the next big bad. I would like to see Galactus after him, after his reign is over, as the big bad. I would like to see Galactus, but yeah. King, I'm very excited to see.
We could.
I'm waiting for Doom. Doom is my definite.
Doom.
I feel like we could get both. we
could. Because the good thing with Kang is you can see different.
What'd you say?
So the thing with Kang is we get to see different timelines. Different variations of the Avengers. Because even if you go back to Doctor Strange, and you're looking at the council, when he was standing in front of the council, there was a missing chair. We already know that there was a missing chair. So it couldn't have been Doctor Strange, and then we knew it wasn't Superior Iron Man. So who was the other person that was on that council? Because Doctor Strange's his seat was taken by what's his name? What's his name? The black guy. With the stick. No, the one that trained. Mordo took Doctor Strange's spot, right? Yeah. And we know Superior Iron Man didn't exist in that universe. So who's the other person that sat on that seat?
In the comics, Kang and Doom have fought, and Doom always makes a fool of him, and that's why it's funny to me. I think somebody over at Marvel was saying something about Kang being the ultimate this and that, and it's like, are y'all forgetting Dr. Doom? How he used to toy with Kang? Toy with Kang like a fucking mouse on the string. Like, so maybe it'll be Doom to come in and at the very end of phase 6 or whatever, or phase 5 or whenever 6 or whenever it is, but hopefully Doom and Kang might fight in some sort of way like they did in the comics, or in some universe or some whatever, and Galactus through the Eternals and Celestials and Guardians and that whole cosmic universe would be fucking perfect to bring it together, man. And then Doom and Galactus doing their thing. I mean, there's so much potential if they would just go to the comics for inspiration instead of the writer's room of millennial kids who don't know shit. And that's where you're getting your ideas. I don't know. You have it's Marvel, guys. Come on. You've got all the ideas. They're already written. Just go pick one.
You just gotta bring them to the screen.
But Jonathan Majors studied, he's the guy playing Kang. He said he studied the earlier MCU villains for his Kang inspiration. And then, it seemed, I feel like they just want to make a sort of everything they did before with Thanos. They just want to do that sort of again with different characters.
For sure. Yeah. They want to replicate that. And I don't know if that's the best idea, but I think that's not what they want to do.
It's not what the comics would do. The comics would have more creative stories that are just as good and completely different. But this isn't the comics.
You have a bunch of older writers masquerading as millennials.
Kang even killed when you gotta think Kang killed Thanos as well. I mean, when you think about it, and they gotta explain that in the timeline and then put Kang.
That's silly. Kang killing Thanos is ridiculous.
They're probably not even going to.
No, I mean, think about it. Think about it in this timeline. Remember the one who remains said, he basically said it. He said, everything that happened because I made it happen. Like I quarterbacked the whole thing. Remember, he's holding up the papers and he was like, yo, like I'll quarterback this. Like, here it is. I got it all written down. So because you got to remember, he could have fought Thanos too. And Thanos, think about what Thanos was saying before all of this happened. You know,
He said,
he had the time stone. He could have looked and saw a few things. He
yeah,
also said that there was a reason why he wanted to destroy half the population of the universe to take the pressure off of that timeline, so it would go unnoticed by Kang.
Kang said, well, not Kang, Jonathan Majors said, he said, it's funny because I did go through and I did look at Ultron, I looked at Loki, I looked at Thanos, and I had an idea of, just for me, what I wanted to bring to the MCU through Kang. And there's a certain requirement that has to happen. I think Ultron, Loki, and Thanos, I think those would be the quintessential baddies for anti-heroes. They all had very interesting qualities to them, and some of them shared qualities with which is just a necessity for taking up the mantle. And so once I took those out and put those in the Kang soup, I then looked at what is it we need for this time period. And
I agree with everything but Ultron.
Yeah.
No, you can't. So I don't remember Ultron. Remember what Ultron said? He wanted to destroy the Earth for a reason. He said he saw something that he didn't talk about. If you go back
but
and watch
using him
Avengers,
as inspiration is not. I don't think, because to me he wasn't
not
a good
as inspiration.
Yeah, no.
I thought he was decent. I thought he was decent. I liked the Ultron.
Yeah.
But if you think about some of the stuff he said, he had an Infinity Stone, and he said he saw something that that made him do what he did. Same thing with Thanos. Think about it. Everybody that had an Infinity Stone, except for Vision, saw something that said, "Look, we got to do something. There's something got to be done here, or we're not going to survive." Like they saw something that they didn't want to talk about, and the only person that didn't talk about anything he saw when he had a stone was Vision. But remember, Vision even went into seclusion. Like, look, I got to think about some things because there's some things about to happen. That's you got to think. You got to think when it comes to temporal anomalies and time, time travel. Anything that can happen is willing to do. So it's like Kang can be sitting back at one point saying, "Well, look, when they get to this point, I'll jump in."
I mean about Thanos,
tweak
like
that.
It's in some iteration, in some timeline, Kang is gonna get the best of Thanos because, like you just said, anything that can happen will eventually in the infinite, multiverse. But yeah, Marvel is setting up Kang to be, the new overarching villain of the MCU, like the whole deal, and just like how Thanos, did during the Infinity Saga. But Jonathan Majors is aware that his portrayal of Kang will automatically be compared to Josh Brolin's Thanos, but he feels like Kang has qualities that make him inherently different from the Mad Titan. He said, "I think Thanos was an incredible big bad. We're only in this phase because he did such a great job. Josh Brolin did such a great job portraying him. I try to stay out of comparisons between Kang and Thanos. It's a whole different world. My assignment is different. The character of Kang is different, so it will be different."
Yeah.
And he but there's he did it. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh no, I said I would agree that he's like inherently different. I guess it just boils down to like what they have planned for him, because if they're gonna try and replicate what Thanos did, then the comparisons are just gonna come. And what he's doing is gonna be overshadowed. So it just depends.
I agree.
What they have planned.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. We and we also have something coming out on Disney, I think. MoonGirl and Devil Dinosaur. A lot of people were excited about this. The comic, the comic. Hold on, what did Slade say? I think they need to lock themselves in a room and cross the T's out the. The guy who played Hawkeye, from his injuries, he cannot walk.
Oh, is that true? I hope that's not true.
Is that true? He can't. Wow.
No, they said something about that, but they're saying no, that's not the case or whatever. But
okay.
He's,
because we know
I
they
think
don't like to recast.
he made a comment. I think something about fuck that shit about I'm not gonna be able to walk again or something. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think that. I mean, he lost a lot of blood through an injury, through a laceration in his leg. It's not like he got his spine crushed. You know, it's not. He didn't. I don't think he lost his ability to walk forever. But God, I hope not, man. But speaking of Jeremy Renner, that he's got a new he's got the new season of Mayor of Kingstown just came out, and that show is phenomenal. So if you're a fan of Jeremy Renner, check out that show. It's dope. It's super dope. But MoonGirl and Devil Dinosaur was a big was a really popular comic. Like when I started selling comics, and this MoonGirl Devil Dinosaur #1 was like floating around, and people were going crazy for it, and it was like it's like mad valuable, and like it was hype. So people are super hype about this show. But it they put out like a trailer, like a 2-minute sort of trailer, and then they put out like a 4-minute clip of the show. Hopefully we can understand what they're saying with the pitch changes, but this is their trailer. So this is MoonGirl and Devil Dinosaur.
Still working on that thing that's gonna fix all our problems?
Time to get genius! It's working! Yes! Oh, no! OMG! Great, Keaton Clifford. We gotta do this on the DL and our family will freak. Now we got supervillains! Somebody call the Avengers!
Do they even go below 14th Street?
I've gotta fix this. I am the smartest 13-year-old, and now I have a dinosaur! My brain, your brawn, we can be superheroes! What do you think? No! What's not in that outfit? Zang! We did the thing then! Yeah, we did! There's no one else to stick up for the Lower East Side.
You're just a kid?
Are we in over our heads?
You're gonna inspire people, just like you inspired me.
MoonGirl magic!
Our world needs saving right now.
Words to Monday!
Who's a fighter?
It's like you always say, one girl can make a difference, right?
Especially when that girl is you.
Let's do this, D! You go, MoonGirl! Do your thing! MoonGirl magic!
What are you doing? You can't eat that without some of my pie.
Wow!
That looks so cute. I definitely would give that a chance. That looks
That
really
dinosaur. That dinosaur is gonna need a whole lot more food than that.
I'm saying,
good.
man.
A whole grocery store.
Yeah.
I didn't do nothing for him. But yeah, I could see you watching this side. I could see you was like into it.
Yeah, that was a nice trailer. I like that.
I want to see it too. I'm kind of excited about it now. Now that I see what it's gonna be like I'm kind of excited.
It looks good. I'm pumped. I like the animation. So I don't think we've gotten something like that from
Speaking of animation,
as far as the MCU, like ever. That type of animation. So
speaking of animation, I will say
kind of Spider-Verse-ish. Reminds me of the Spider-Verse.
Speaking of animation, I will say I did watch Puss in Boots.
Oh, what'd you think of that?
It's good.
Puss in Boots.
I was very thoroughly pleased when I walked away.
That was fucking a great movie, dude.
Yeah. Like, listen, the actions, the fighting scenes were like, they're like the Spider-Verse. They're
just like a low frame rate, and so it looks like Spider-Verse. Low frame rate. Yeah.
It was super hilarious. Like, they don't make those for kids. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody knows. Those are not made for children. I don't know
Them
why you said
eyes.
I wouldn't. Yeah, them eyes. Yeah. Remember him and the other cat was battling. They was doing the eyes. They was like, oh, each
Word,
trying to be cuter than the other. Yeah, it was just like, oh, yo, that was a funny movie, man. I give it. Listen, I give it 5 couches. Matter of fact, I give it
they give it
6
two
elements.
paws
I give
up.
it 6. I give it 6 elements out of 6.
6 elements out of 6. I like it. I like it.
I'll have to give it a chance. I'll definitely have to give it a chance.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
I
yeah.
fell off way early on with the Puss in Boots movies.
Is it
So
sausage? Diamond Onyx. I never watched Sausage the movie. I've always wanted to watch it.
What is sausage
I've always
movie?
heard good things about it.
Sausage.
You
Is
never
that
heard
the
the Sausage movie? I've
Talking about the
always
hot
heard good
dog, like
things about
the
it.
movie with Seth Rogen in them,
that one?
where
No,
they're like
there's
pack
a
of hot
cartoon, the
dogs.
sausage. Yeah, it's
Oh.
like a cartoon. Yeah. I never
Oh.
watched it, but everybody I know has seen it always says it's
Yeah,
good.
it's called
I
Sausage
never
Party. It's with Seth
Sausage Party.
Rogen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
it's like
never watched it.
it's a super raunchy adult comedy, but it's cartoons, and
Yeah.
they're like a pack of hot dogs, and they're trying to get into these buns. It's like
All right.
yeah,
Yeah, I never. Yeah,
Oh,
I never
whoa.
watched
That's
it. Yeah,
crazy.
I heard it's good though, but I never watched it. Damn,
it was
Yeah, I've
I
it
never
never
was
seen
watched
it
it.
fully.
Yeah, I heard it was good though. But Puss
but
in Boots, if you haven't seen it, go see it.
yeah, definitely. My son was like, "Dad, we gotta see Puss in Boots," and I was like, "What? The Shrek thing?" I was like, "I don't fuck with Shrek." He's like, "No, trust me, Dad, you gonna like Puss in Boots." I was like, "All right, I'll fuck with it," and we
Yeah,
watched it.
the
And,
first one is funny.
I
The
liked it,
first one
bro.
is super funny.
It was
The
super
first
good.
one's
I
super
fell
funny.
off after the first one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I think I saw the first one, and that's what my son said. He's like, "Yeah, you didn't really like the first one." He said, "But this is not like the first one." He's like, "This is a whole. It's not like the first one at all," and it wasn't. It's mad good.
The first
But
one was good. I like the first one.
first
I
one
thought
was
that was super
good.
funny.
Yeah, it was
It was
good.
funny. First one was super funny, right?
It was more
This
funny.
one,
This one was more
yeah, this
action,
one
like
takes it
more
up. Yeah, this was
serious.
more action and yeah, but it takes it all up a notch though.
Yeah.
I listen. I was thoroughly enjoyed. Like I said, I give it 6.
Isn't this
I
like the
give it
final
6
movie?
elements out of 6.
Might
I
be.
don't know. It might be. It might be. It might be.
At least it
But
went
I
out
give
on
it
a
6
bang.
elements out of 6 though, son. I can tell you that now. I
Nice.
thoroughly enjoyed that on my couch, and I would have damn sure enjoyed it just as well in the movies. So it's worth going to the movies to see. Definitely.
Yeah, I watched it at home, but I wouldn't have been mad if I saw it in the theater at all.
No.
Official review.
All right, come on. I'm trying to get y'all a picture of Adam Warlock here.
Oh yes, that came out all over. What was it today?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a full suit picture. It's just like a headshot with like his chest. But
Oh really? The full suit picture came out
there
today.
there is a full suit picture. Oh, here it is.
Is it?
Okay, I do have it. Okay, I didn't think.
Do we
I
have
had
a full suit picture?
Yeah, I got
Yeah. James Gunn put it out himself on his Instagram.
it. Yeah, he tweeted it, and yeah, I got it right off the tweet right here. And let me just. Oops, that's the video one. Get in here, throw it up here. Yeah, so there's a close up of his head, and then there's a full suit joint. There's the full suit, and there's the headshot. It's not Adam Warlock from the comics, obviously, but Adam Warlock is such a dope character that, and Guardians of the Galaxies have always been super great movies, and they never have disappointed so far. So I have faith. And I'm excited because, like I said, the character is dope. Like from the comics, Adam Warlock is a dope character. So if it's at all like the character from the comics, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. I wish the gem was bigger and his hair was longer. Otherwise, I really like it.
Yes, I wish his hair was longer. And the gem you said in his forehead.
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that
Yeah,
were
I
bigger.
agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I have seen but yeah, that's they James Gunn was like saying how Adam Warlock is not a good guy. He's not an anti-hero like in this. He's a bad guy in this movie. And he started out, Adam Warlock was a bad guy originally. But he revealed quite a lot about the of info like about Guardians 3, about the character anyway. Being played by Will Poulter.
Mhm.
And the director told Empire magazine about Warlock's role in the upcoming Marvel Studios sequel and where he stands in relation to the Guardians. He said it's kind of more complicated than that. He clarified when they asked him what Warlock's sole purpose is to take down the Guardians. He said, but he's definitely not a good guy. What we're seeing is the infant form of Warlock, newly out of the cocoon, but he does not understand life very well. He's basically a baby. So when Adam Warlock was born, he came out of his spawned out of cocoon a fully grown man, and like mad powerful and shit, but didn't know anything. And it really sucks that this is Gunn's and the Guardians' last movie, because this is not gonna be even a tip of what Adam Warlock's character would have become, even in by like the next movie. So that really sucks. Like I really would have wanted to see this character evolve and become what he potentially is going to become. But James Gunn spoke about like what he looked for while he was casting the character and the potential importance for the MCU. And he said people online were saying, "Oh, Tom Cruise should be Adam Warlock." And Gunn was like, I wanted somebody who was youthful, and I wanted a person who had the dramatic chops and the comedic chops, not only for this movie, but for what Marvel and I will use Adam Warlock for in the future. He could become this really important character. So by hearing that, maybe James Gunn is not completely done with Marvel, and maybe Adam Warlock, even though there's not going to be another Guardians movie, maybe Adam Warlock will be, in either other MCU movies. Maybe he'll get his own movie. Maybe we'll get a fucking, Infinity War movie, or what's the Infinity Crusade movie with Adam Warlock. So who knows? But maybe he'll pop in the Kang verse or whatever. Who knows? But yeah, he tweeted Adam Warlock, definitely not a good guy, and that's where we got the full suit shot. But the character first appeared in 1967 in Fantastic Four number 66 and 67. Because in the comics, he played like a central role in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, which
Right.
I just knew he was going to be in phase 1, 2, and 3, like the whole Infinity Saga. Like he's central to that storyline and is known for being the bearer of the Gauntlet Soul Stone. And in the years since, he's been part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's been in multiple video games, television shows. He's been on, different in all kinds of different comics.
He's been on Oprah. Yeah, he's been on Oprah. He did a lot, man.
Has he been on Oprah?
Yeah, he's been on Oprah.
Okay. And the synopsis says, in Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy 3, our beloved band of misfits are looking a bit different these days. Peter Quill, still reeling from the loss of Gamora, must rally his team around him to defend the universe, along with protecting one of their own, a mission that, if not completed successfully, could quite possibly lead to the end of the Guardians as we know them. So yeah, man, May 5th, guys, May 5th, 2023, we get to finally see the Guardians 3. He's a poet and he didn't know.
Wait.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be good shit. Yeah, but Marvel, did I believe something? Marvel, wait, what did somebody say? Oh, had me assist. Yeah, man, it was good. It was funny as shit. The sausage joint. Guardian of the Galaxy, Bane of Blastar #1 is an exclusive, is a new comic that's coming out. Guardians of the Galaxy must act fast if they hope to stop him, but it looks like this family has this found family is having problems of their own. Courtesy of Marvel Comics, AIPT can exclusively reveal the cover and solicit for a new Guardians of the Galaxy one-shot in April. A good entry point for folks who haven't read Guardians comics before. The comic is written by Ralph Macchio with art by David Tinto. Yes, I said Ralph Macchio.
I was getting ready to say, is that the Ralph Macchio?
Really?
Or is that just somebody with the name? That's
Yeah,
somebody
I
the
don't.
namesake.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that because I've seen Ralph Macchio on so many comics, and I've just been like, really? But let me look this up because I'm ashamed that I do not know
Oh,
this.
okay. It looks like he's an American editor. The Ralph Macchio that you're talking about, I think maybe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marvel Comics, Ralph Macchio is not Karate Kid Ralph Macchio. He's a comic book writer.
I was
Has
about
had
to
many.
say, so
Yeah.
talented.
Right. But no, he has been an editor. He's been an editor at Marvel. He's had a lot of different roles at Marvel.
I was
Apparently,
gonna
it
say.
says that.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
No wonder why Karate Kid was so good.
I
Yeah.
mean,
He was in the writer's room making
word.
shit.
He was in there making that happen.
He's actually nicknamed the Karate Kid at Marvel. That's what they
Oh,
call him.
great.
But yeah, he's most commonly associated with Daredevil and the Spider-Man line of comics and the Ultimate Marvel line. So, if you rock with the Ultimate Universe,
Or
you
maybe his
don't.
parents, maybe his parents were just big Karate Kid fans. Maybe they just was like, look, we Karate Kid fans.
He was born in 1950, so no. Yeah,
No,
he's
all right.
72. Yeah, he had it before
We
Ralph.
trying to connect it,
Before,
man. We just trying to connect it, baby. That's all.
I think
We
I
trying to
think
find a
the
way
Karate
to put it.
Kid's parents were big Marvel fans, maybe.
Yeah. We just trying to put it all together.
Just trying to make it make sense.
We trying to build something out of nothing.
Putting the pieces
Yeah, trying to build
together.
something out of nothing. Yeah, put
Yeah.
them together. Trying to make something out of nothing. Trying to get
But
$1 out
Marvel,
of 15 cents.
and whatever we can. But Marvel has a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy comics in the works right now. They've there's always some different Guardians titles coming out. But they're all
That's true.
And right now during they're all timed to come out right around the Guardians 3 movie release. And that includes the new Groot ongoing series and a new Guardians of the Galaxy relaunch by Jackson Lansing. But Blastar is one of their villains, like one of their biggest enemies. That like if you read their older comics, they would fight Blastar a lot, and he would be in the I think the negative realm or some realm that they would get. They got him stuck in, and I don't know. I was reading one time where Quill and Blastar were fighting in this crazy realm. But anyway, so Blastar's back and has launched a new Inquisition to take over the galaxy. The Guardians must act fast if they hope to stop him, but it looks like this found family is having problems of their own. Can the Guardians get it together before it's too late? Don't miss out on this classic Guardians of the Galaxy tale. Guardians of the Galaxy Bane of Blastar #1 on sale April 26th. Yeah.
Oh boy, those are gonna be worth some money.
Yeah, hold on to those because you never know. But any Guardian shit is cool shit. Oh, I did say I was gonna talk about
Invincible.
Invincible. Yeah, Invincible. Damn, I wanted to do a whole damn show on Invincible. Because there's a lot, but yeah, like people have been waiting for Invincible season 2 forever.
Bruh.
Come
Don't
on.
tell me about it, man.
My channel was built off Invincible. I need season 2 to come out now.
You know? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm still feeding off the first season.
Why it's taking so long? And it's taking a super long time. But Robert Kirkman became, blew up. He's doing Walking Dead, and then then Invincible came out, and he's just been doing just a ton of things. That's one thing, but
The Last of Us.
Prime Video announced that Invincible season 2 was happening the same day that the first season ended. In fact, the streaming service confirmed that Kirkman's show would also return for a season 3. And the season 2 renewal gave like an expectation that Invincible season 2 would be coming rather quickly. Like the fact that it was right there at the end of the show, we thought it was going to be like right coming up. But it's been over a year since the first joint, and Prime Video has not really given us any updates on the status. you know, during that time. You know, with even the show's official Twitter account opting to post vague teases of season 2's progress instead of just giving the hardcore fans a fucking answer. You know, and there's no definitive reason why season 2 is taking so long. Actually, you know, animated shows in general take more than live action, obviously, because they have to be drawn and animated and the whole thing. The animation process is more time consuming. But it also didn't help that the work on Invincible season 2 was being done during the pandemic, which might have slowed the work on the series, including possibly delaying when actors could be, you know, there to record their dialogue and shit. And, you know, all that's known right now is that the cast and the crew are working hard to make the show, but no massive delays have been reported, which might point to the show taking its time to deliver another really great, really memorable, really well written season. Because season
Yeah, I'm
one,
here for it. I'm ready. I'll wait for this show as long as it takes. I'm here
right?
for
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, Prime Video would have to wait until early this year to do the same thing that they did with the first one, because the first season launched in 2021, and the first 3 episodes came out at one time, and then it moved to a weekly release, you know, after that. And we're you know, season 2 will probably do the same thing. But based on the timing and the announcement that, you know, and the scarce updates have been shared, it's possible that the show will return uh, sooner than you know we expect. So fingers crossed. We hope it's gonna be soon, because like Sada said, man, it's a lot of people really just fiending for that joint.
Will we get it this year? That's the thing. Like,
Possible, yeah.
No, I feel like we're
that's
not
the
gonna
thing.
get
Well,
it this
they're
year.
they're saying like we almost would have got it at the end of last year. So I'm thinking we're gonna get it pretty soon here this year. I think probably before the middle of the year.
I hope so.
Speaking of something else we're getting this year, we should be getting. I was just in my Discord talking to some of the Discord nerds. The Star Wars game. I was just talking to some Star Wars nerds. Got some good news about that.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
going. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be open world, but it's gonna be a little different. There's not gonna be a main story, so it's not gonna be like Jedi, you know,
Fallen
Fallen,
Order.
whatever. It's not gonna be like Fallen Order in story.
Yeah.
You'll basically have different galaxies or sections that you can venture into and do different things. Number one, you'll be able to create your character. And when you create your character, you have to level your character up. So to play more like, I don't know if you ever played Destiny or Fortnite. You'll level up. So it has a lot of RPG elements to it and things that have to be leveled up. You'll also be able to go after certain artifacts, like, you know, certain, I guess, lightsabers or holocrons and things of that nature, in order to complete certain tasks to make other things happen. They also said that it's that since Ubisoft made it, it's gonna most likely play like Assassin's Creed, like in some of the Assassin's Creed games. Whereas in, you know, you can go anywhere and do anything, and the story will progress in the area that you're in, and not like a whole blanket story for the whole thing. Because apparently they want to keep the thing going. They
call that open area.
Right. They want you to go to the open area. Yeah. Well, it's an
not
open world. It's
area.
an open world. It's an open world, but there's different areas, so nothing's connected. So like one side of the galaxy is different than the other side. Like I don't know if you ever played Destiny. Like Destiny's open world, but you have different areas you can access.
Destiny's open area. That's what I mean. Destiny's open area. It's open world, but it's called open area because open world is like Grand Theft Auto, where you could literally start at one end of the map and walk to the other end of the map. Destiny
No, you
stuff,
won't be
you
able
have
to
to
do
like
that. Yeah.
teleport to the different areas, and then it's open for that area.
Only
but there's
because
like a hub
Reno,
world.
only Reno because it's so big.
Yeah.
Destiny's so big, we don't have the technology yet to connect all. To connect all that. Nah, we can't connect all that. The thing with Grand Theft Auto is that's more like we're even using the wrong technology. That's not even open world. That's sandbox. So like
Mhm.
there is a certain area, and like you said, you can go from one end of the map to the other, but that's it. There's a boundary on the end of that area, and then you can't go out of that. So that would be more of a sandbox. When they refer to open world, they just mean like you can just go anywhere and do whatever you want. You don't have to stick to
I
any
didn't mean to get into a
storyline.
tangent because I was
Yeah.
still trying to talk about Invincible. I didn't want to get into a tangent about the
Oh
video.
yeah. Let's get back to that. I just got it. Just came
Nah,
up,
nah,
man. Just
yeah, yeah.
popped out my head. Yeah. But
Nah, I
Invincible,
can't
I
wait,
want to
bro. That's
see it. I want to see it, Reno. I really do want to see it in this moment.
In the
all
Because
right.
every
I
time
meantime,
I
mean,
turn
read
on
the
my Prime,
comics.
nah, I'm
So
gonna keep it a
good.
buck with y'all. I'm gonna
yeah,
keep it. I'm
read
gonna
the
tell
comic.
y'all a secret. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all a
You
secret.
didn't you
Every
didn't see
time
the
I
first
turn on
one?
my Prime, no. Every time I turn on my Prime, I always go look to see if season 2 is there. It's never there.
Oh,
I always
yeah,
pop
yeah.
in. No, I'm done
Always,
because I'll be like, damn, yeah. I'll be like, let me see if it's here. No, it's never there. So I always go in there to see if season 2 is there.
always checking for that shit. But yeah,
Bro, always.
his
Anytime I go on
Can't
my
costume.
Prime
wait for
Video.
the trailer. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Hell yeah.
Ooh. As long
He
as I don't have to see Amber ever again, I'm fine. I'm great.
who?
Amber
Amber.
Who's Amber? Oh, from the from the show.
from the show.
Sure, yeah.
She was much
I'm
better in the comic.
She's so much better in
Yeah.
the
And
comic.
I hate the way they change things.
I did
Like from the
Yeah,
comic,
too.
like
yeah.
In the Walking Dead, they changed so much.
Oh yeah.
Uh
Well, they had to because
well,
they didn't want people to know what was gonna happen. So they changed
yeah,
shit so you wouldn't be like, if you read the comic, you know what's coming. Or people that never read the comic, they're just into the show and they want to know what's gonna happen next season, so they run and get the comic. Go for it, because everything that happens to these people, all different shit's gonna happen to all different characters in the show. They did it on purpose. Like, but they purposely also, because they had done that, when it came time for Negan to smash Glenn's head, like in the comic, they played it off like it was going to be someone else. And everyone's like, who are they going to have? Who are they going to smash? Who are they going to smash? We know it's not
right.
going
And
to
it
be
was still
Glenn. That's
Glenn.
who it is in the
Right.
comic. We know that. So
Yeah.
Glenn was out of everyone's mind. And so when he smacked Glenn, everybody's like, oh, so that was dope. But yeah, they used that shit, man. But yeah, Invincible, the first season kind of gave like a little I guess they're saying like a little teaser to this character Bulletproof. This guy here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He was one of the. When did he take the mantle? Oh, God, I'm trying to remember. But yeah, he was cool. From what I remember reading about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He Bulletproof did not appear in season 1, obviously, but he was part of the Guardians of the Globe auditions that occurred around the same time in the comics.
Yes.
And this left some mystery about right. And when will he appear in Invincible? We don't know, but the show's already removed Bulletproof from key sequences like fighting Battle Beast and Machine Head's other villains that he was doing in the comics. And with Invincible changing the comics in this way, it's clear that Zandale's first appearance is being delayed on purpose until later on, so that people won't know what's happening, and possibly when he will play a more central role. But there is a chance that Bulletproof will appear in season 2. That's what I
I
hope.
know he filled in for Mark during some time when he was away, so maybe that's how he'll come in. Because I know Mark at this point is kind of iffy on being invincible, like in the first place. So maybe that's when he'll come in. I don't know.
Maybe, but his introduction could be saved for season 3 as well. But it seems unlikely that the show is going to get to the Viltrumite War and Mark's infection with the Scourge virus in the second season. If we're judging by how far the story progressed from season 1, if it's that sort of same progression, I don't think they'll get to that stuff. But those are the storylines where Bulletproof is needed most if he is to fill in, fulfill his comic destiny of being Invincible's replacement to help Adam Eve. So Invincible could wait another season or 2 before bringing Bulletproof into the storyline, but he his season 1 Invincible season 1 sort of teased the arrival of Bulletproof in the future by having Invincible wear an orange and yellow suit, when Invincible's orange and yellow suit does retain one color, that becomes part of his main suit. The show explains that this is a costume that Art created before and never sold. And so this doubles as a fun reference to the comics and a setup for the future. Before Robert Kirkman settled on Invincible's costume in the comics, this suit was considered to be his primary look. And he even wears it in a similar sequence in the comics, but this won't be the last time that we'll see that orange and yellow suit, because it'll eventually be worn by Bulletproof. Zandale Randolph is his name, and he got his superpowers through experiments by his twin brother, and starts to wear the orange and yellow costume once his superhero lifestyle begins, and this helps
The
lead
orange and blue.
the orange and yellow.
Blue and yellow. He said, you said orange and blue.
Yeah, no, orange and yellow,
Orange and yellow, yeah.
orange and yellow. But yeah, he the evolution of Bulletproof replacing Mark connects to how the Invincible comics changed during the development. Like, Bulletproof was at one time considered to be Invincible's name. So, but I like the little changes and stuff that they do, because, like I said, it keeps it fresh. It keeps you, not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah, I like some of them, not all of them, i.e. Amber, but
right,
most of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't complain. Yeah, I can't complain on some of them. Yeah. But Invincible, I was hooked, bro. And then they just cut me off. I was like, dang, bro, give me some good drugs and then cut me off, man.
Man,
do that, bro.
And season 2 is gonna be dope, though. I mean, he's gonna fight. He's got a lot of threats. In this season coming up, the Viltrumites. The Viltrumite villains will challenge him. Because season 1, right, revolved around Mark learning to control his powers and finding out the truth that his father was Omni-Man, and learning of the Viltrumite race and all of that. And this sort of culminated in Invincible and Omni-Man.
Right.
Yeah, they sort of fought
the Viltrumite. He gets raped by one of them, don't he? Don't he get raped?
Yeah. Well, I don't think
it's in the comic.
That's in the comic.
Yeah,
in the comic.
Yeah, the comics, yes.
Yeah, one of the females raped.
Yeah. It's brutal, bro. That's all I can say. It's a brutal ass comic. The show,
it's so good.
I'm saying, bro, I can't recommend it enough. I had them all. Like, I sold the whole thing, but I had the whole series. It was because, like, I was one of those people that bought it when it first came out. A lot of people just thought it was gonna be some corny, another whack superhero, but I was like, nah, this is the guy that made Walking Dead. Hold on, let me look at this. And I opened the joint.
Was good.
And I'm like, oh, it's a lot of blood in here. This ain't normal.
Banger.
Instant classic. Yeah.
I agree.
Go check that shit out.
Yeah,
major comic.
I shouldn't have been reading it when I was a kid. I would always go to the library and look at the comic book sections, and that was always there. And then I started reading it, and I was like, oh, there's like blood and sex. Maybe I shouldn't be reading this. Yeah. But I kept reading it. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Lock and Key was good too. Lock and Key was like that too. It was good, but it's very graphic. It's a very graphic comic. And like when they did
I got that from the library too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
When they did the show on that, I was like, how they going to explain some of this, some of the stuff that goes on?
Pop the boy head open and bring the key out of his head or something. I was like, what?
Yeah. And then, like in the beginning part with the and the mom in the comic, they raped the mother, killed the dad. And then they wound up killing it, killing one of the two boys. They don't even talk about that or even put that into the TV show. Yeah.
And that's what I love, man. That's what I love about Invincible, because it's just, it wouldn't be Invincible if they nerfed it, if they just censored all that stuff. I mean, that's what makes Invincible. Otherwise, it is just a corny, cheap, generic superhero show. But it's all about that violence and that like shock value. And if you take it away, what's the fucking point? So
Right.
I'm proud that they did that shit and kept it in there. But he's got I think for season 2 he's got major comic villains like Angstrom Levy will help season 2 raise the stakes. And you got the Viltrumites who are going to play a much bigger role. Because first season they really only featured Omni-Man as members of the Viltrumite race. Did they? I think there was one or two guys. Didn't they meet two of them?
It was just Omni Man.
No,
It
it
was
was
just
yeah.
Omni-Man.
Omni-Man.
I'm thinking of the
Anybody.
comic.
Nah,
Yeah,
it's just
well,
Omni Man.
Yeah, because his
That was
father
it.
will
He
be
met.
back.
Remember, he met the one dude on the moon. Remember, he met the one
Yeah,
dude on the moon that
Yeah, that
kind
was
of tried to
the
tell him, like, look,
right.
yeah, but he wasn't a Viltrumite though. Yeah, he was trying to tell him, like,
no, no.
look, yeah, he told him what he was or what he part was,
Right.
but he was like, yo, like, you don't realize what you are. But
Yeah.
that's
Well,
but then they
wow.
cut you off. They take the drugs
yeah.
away.
Omni-Man, Omni-Man is going to be back obviously for season 2, but in a different capacity, opening the door for other Viltrumites to become the antagonist. Because it's already confirmed that that Conquest will be one of the evil Viltrumites. His name is Conquest. Who wreck Mark's life in new ways.
Wonderful.
Invincible just gets fucked up. I mean, that's just kind of his thing. He just gets
Yeah.
beat to a
I
pulp a
just want
lot.
him to have
Yeah.
one win. One win.
Yeah, you know
Please.
yeah. There's a lot of Viltrumite, but
Yeah, because who was the one dude that beat the hell out of him?
I mean,
Was it
which
the
one?
Minotaur
Like
dude?
all of them.
Was it
in the show,
the last one?
Like,
Yeah, in the show, was it Minotaur dude or whatever his name?
oh yeah,
The
the lion head guy with the I forget his
yeah,
name.
yeah, bro.
Beast
He gave
or
Beastman.
Beast,
yeah,
something like
Beastman.
that.
Yeah, he gave
Beast
all them work.
something.
He gave everybody work and that and stepped off.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
bro, in the comics, bro, he's a beast. He's a beast. To say the least. But nah,
Oh, Battle Beast. Oh, that
Battle
was
yeah,
Beast.
Battle Beast. Yeah, Battle Beast.
I
Bro,
was
this is
like,
a dope.
what?
I think it's
Reno,
number
Miss
issue
Minutes.
85. But yeah, the Miss Minutes was the clock, right?
Miss
Right.
Minutes
Yeah.
was the clock. Yeah, I knew if I said if I stop thinking about it, it's gonna come to me. She said, "What?" She said, "Battle Beast." I'm like,
The callback from an hour
Yeah.
ago.
yeah, Miss
Right.
Minutes.
But
But yeah,
3
Battle Beast was a
Battle
beast.
Beast but there's 3 powerful and important Viltrumites that were already briefly introduced in the first season in the show, and the finale included the truth about Omni-Man's origin and the bloodshed that occurred on Viltrum in the past. And it's during like the flashback sequence that we see Conquest, the character Conquest. You see Craig and Thula from the comics. So Craig is Kregg, not like the name Craig. And they're each shown like standing near a pile of dead Viltrumites, showing their strength and skill compared to the hundreds of fellow superhumans they dispatched. Conquest, Craig, and Thula do not really do anything with this little screen time, but it still establishes them as part of the universe before season 2. So we can probably expect to see them. I think I can get a picture of them too, but they should be there. You could definitely bet on them being pretty big in season 2.
I hope so.
Here's a picture. I got it. Find the picture. Oh damn it! All right, here we go. Wait, what? You ever have where the toolbar of your computer won't pop up if any windows are open, and you got to shrink every window down? I don't know.
I mean, it's rare if my like entire thing won't show up, but usually I can navigate. But yeah, I've had that happen to me a couple times. I don't
It's a pain in the
know
ass
how I solved it though.
for me it just for me there was no there is no solving it. It just seems to go away at some point. But this is who I'm talking about. That's
oh yeah, in the flashback, yeah.
Oh yeah, in the flashbacks, yeah.
Right, in the flashbacks, yes. And you see the pile of Viltrumites over there on the right, the dead. That's Conquest and Craig and that's Thoma, the female. But of the three Viltrumite villains already introduced, Conquest is undoubtedly the biggest threat. He comes to Earth at a low point for Mark for Invincible in the comics, right? And he plays a central role in another massive battle that they're definitely going to put in season 2. And this included Conquest seemingly killing Mark's girlfriend, Eve, which pushed Mark to an even darker state of mind, and made him believe, or accepting that he was going to kill this guy. Like, for the first time, he's going to kill someone, and he like wants to. And it's not until like a bit later on that Invincible and Conquest face off for a real gruesome duel that makes, when his dad beat him to a pulp, just like a fucking Sunday stroll. But Craig is a Viltrumite general. And Craig is sort of tasked with overseeing Mark's progression of preparing Earth for Viltrum's invasion. Because remember, that's what Omni-Man went to Earth to do, is to get it ready for them to invade. Basically, he was by himself supposed to put the whole planet on its knees, which he could have done. Like, that's what Viltrumites do. They send one Viltrumite to a planet like Earth, and that one Viltrumite is going to conquer that whole planet by himself and make that planet a new Viltrumite stronghold. And they set up these strongholds all over, the universe. And that's what Omni-Man went to Earth to do.
But
and
never
then
did.
He fell in love with the woman, and then he fell in love with the human, and had a kid, and had this family, and became like the superhero of Earth. And then, Mark finds out or whatever, and then, he's like, the Viltrumites come, and they're like, "Hey, bro, you've been here like a long time. Like, what's going on? How come you haven't conquered Earth yet?" And they kind of put it to him and bust his ass a little bit. But Thula, the female one, she's a powerful, warrior. She's got like a spear attached to the end of her ponytail, and does shit. But after only seeing these characters for like a few seconds in season 1, season 2 is in a great place to properly feature Conquest, Craig, and Thula, and really give us like some really impactful moments. Their appearances can be important to the overall story, that the show's telling, also, but because they can help reveal details like the Scourge virus is a big thing that's going to be a big part of it, and pave the way for other Viltrumites like Thrag and Anissa to join the narrative. And ultimately, these villains, in season 2, will bring the show one step closer to the Viltrumite war. And I think that's going to be season 3. That's the big sort of climax. I don't know how long this show is supposed to run.
I mean, they were saying like however long, really. I mean, we're already getting seasons 2 and 3. I could see it going for a cool 8 seasons. I could see it.
I hope so.
Yeah, or even more. Like, I mean, there's a lot of content within Invincible, so
they'll cut it down.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I hope so, but they're gonna cut it down. So they're gonna.
Yeah.
Well, Steven, and there's another character from the comics that they're putting, let me get a picture of this guy with like a big exposed brain. It's like this big bulbous brain, like pulsating brain.
Yes. God, what is his name? Oh,
he's a bad guy.
What is his name?
Let me show you his picture. Maybe you'll remember his name. See him?
Oh, Angstrom. Levy. I think that's his name. Angstrom Levy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Still got it.
Yep. Yeah, that's who I was just talking about in the other.
Okay, I wouldn't mind seeing him.
No, but Steven Yen says that season 2 is better than the first season, and but because Kirkman spearheaded the animated adaptation of the comic, right? But in 2021, but there's a lot of people familiar with the comics, and have a general understanding of like what's coming next. But viewers of the series alone might have Invincible season one's. All you have is just what you saw in season one to go off of. But the season finale, you saw Mark learn the truth about his father and the Viltrumites, and sort of led to the battle between the father and the son. And once Omni-Man left Earth, Mark is sort of free to heal and piece his life back together, and Earth and all of that shit. And of course, the episode didn't end without teasing various storylines for season two, like the arrival of the other Viltrumites and other villains. And it's also quite clear that characters like Adam Eve, Alan the Alien, Cecil Stedman will be more prominent, figures in the next season. Because season one earned 98% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics and 91% from the viewers. So across the board, it was loved. It's dope. It was just a top-notch show. It's going to be tough to beat, basically. But there's an argument to be made that Invincible was one of the best shows of that year. So anticipation for this season is understandably high as a result. And the teases from Yen and Kirkman, that it beats what came before, is very exciting, and they're pretty confident, and I think so. Because because we know what happens in the comics, so we know season two is about to be crazy. One way for season two to beat season one is through the villains, obviously, that he's gonna have to fight. First season put him through the ringer, as he fought like various threats, his father. But they pale in comparison to what is awaiting him with these other ones. And it's already been confirmed that season two features, like I was saying before, Conquest and the other Viltrumites, and the super genius, the brain guy, Angstrom Levi or Levy. So Conquest and Levy are polar opposites, in their methods of how they pose a threat to Invincible. But both of them are not to be taken lightly. Like, they're both beasts at what they do. Either one of them on their own could ruin Mark's life. So the possibility of both of them appearing in season two is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot on your boy. But Conquest, obviously, he's the brute. He's going to be the strength guy.
Now, I will say, if he wants to kill off Amber to get Mark to that dark place, I support it 1,000%. I really support that. That'd be great.
Sada's behind it 100%.
Yeah, get her out of there.
She really behind that. She's like, you can just get rid of her altogether.
That was one of the changes. I was like, so you race swapped her and then made her a completely shitty person. So it was just like, all right, well,
we don't really good. In the comics, she's really cool.
Yeah, and they had an amicable split, and then unfortunately she got into a domestic violence situation. But the way that was handled was really nice. Like, all of it was just so smooth. I don't know why they just had to go and like change it all around and just make her so horrible to Mark. It was really just kind of like such a turn off.
I was like, bro, it's me and my son were watching that show, and I remember telling my son, I was like, she is mean. She's not like that in the book.
Yeah, she's bad. And like the worst part was like the writers, like they wanted the audience to be on her side, and I'm just like, that's not how this is going to work. So they gotta do better season two, because
they will.
I hope so, with her at least.
Yeah, but with the villains, you got Angstrom Levi is dope, bro. I fuck with him, the guy with the big brain, because he's like he's a big threat, but his knowledge of the multiverse and his genius intellect and all of that, like, make him a big threat to somebody whose power base is basically in strength, but so it'll be a dope, there'll be some dope battles, a lot of expansion of the universe. Basically, we'll get to see what other planets might be involved and all that good stuff. And then Omni-Man, I loved Omni-Man when I first read him in the comic, and I sort of hated him after I figured out what was going on at first. And I think everybody watching the show rightfully came to hate him. And but his redemption arc is coming in
Oh
season
boy.
2.
I
So
don't even know if I want to
that's
have a redemption arc.
well, yeah, exactly. But the show acted quickly as to not hide Omni-Man's evil nature. They were very promptly,
Yeah, up front with that. Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
were very prompt. They were very
Yeah.
prompt with that.
Super
That's the
villain
part I like.
territory.
Favorite characters.
Right? Yeah, I like that the most. They did not sugarcoat that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Omni sparring Mark and leaving leaving the planet to begin the next chapter of his life. He goes to this other planet just like he did on Earth and finds a wife and has a kid, only this planet's populated by these praying mantis looking insect people. So he's got a wife that's a praying mantis and they've got a kid, and it's crazy. But he the comics give us a lot of insight into where exactly his story goes next, and the twists and turns that we'll get for the show. But without getting too far into potential spoilers for the show, it is safe to say that Omni-Man and Mark Grayson they'll reunite under very different circumstances, and when that happens, the dynamic between them will further help the series subvert expectations and provide viewers with something new and better than before. So there's a lot of ways that season 2 can be better than season 1, which that's a concern when a show's so good season 1 out the box. It's like, damn, can they repeat that? Because a lot of times shows end up getting boring after season 1 because they're lucky, like season 1 was just dope, and then it just starts to get mad boring after that. So
Yep.
Come here.
Some of them, and
Yeah.
some of them get, and some of them get bad
Some get
during
better,
season 1. Some get bad during their first season, like Willow.
like Willow. Oh my God, Willow.
Oh no,
bad,
it's bad now. Oh no,
It's
you
so
guys are
bad.
really yeah.
No, I
Oh.
never liked it.
Oh,
It I like the special effects and everything, but the cast, maybe it's the directing or the writing, but the cast is made up of these kids that would be fine if they had like British accents or didn't say things like and like modern phraseology and stuff like that. It's really jarring when
Yeah.
you're watching like this medieval time fantasy kind of thing, and they're just speaking like it's 2023,
Yeah.
wearing costumes. It's not cool.
so
Yeah.
got these middle-aged writers masquerading as millennials, and they're failing. I don't know what it's gonna take for them to learn.
Because you know what it is, Sada? They have
got these millennial writers putting out shit like that Velma show. Did you see that travesty?
Oh God, no! I as soon as I saw the trailer, I was like, nah, I'm good.
Like, who would make a show about Velma?
And then like,
How is that even
that's
cool?
cool
Like,
though,
how is that even
of Mindy Kaling, so it's not even a Velma show. Like,
right? Like, how's it even cool? Like,
yeah,
the Scooby Doo.
Shaggy's
You gotta
in it.
have a whole gang there.
They
You
made
gotta have a
okay,
whole gang.
the whole gang's
it's
in it.
hard to mess up Scooby Doo.
Oh, the whole gang's in it?
The whole gang's in it, but they're different. Okay, Daphne's Asian. Shaggy's black, and he's a straight edge, dead set against drugs. Always talks about how he's against drugs and all this. So not the stoner Shaggy. Now he's just like really straight edge guy. And then what else? Fred is the only guy they left Caucasian, and they turned him into a complete demon. He's just like a douchebag, fucking womanizing rapist. It's amazing, bro.
Like, what about Scooby? What's up with Scooby?
It's like a super woke SJW fest. I mean, and they've even got jokes about like racial casting and stuff. I mean, it's so fucking cringe, dude.
Like, it's hard to mess up Scooby Doo, but she did it, and it's like I would have even minded like Shaggy being black. Like, if he just acted like Shaggy, like if he just acted like Shaggy, nobody would have cared. But
a black guy with a black Shaggy with dreads would have been cool as fuck.
Yeah, but nobody acts like how they're supposed to act. Scooby's not even there, which is good. He can avoid the travesty. It's just awful. It's awful.
It's really bad. It's really fucking bad.
Glad I haven't seen it.
I saw the
wanted to
trailer.
watch it.
Good enough.
My son talked me into watching episode 1 because I was like, I don't. He's like, no, let's just watch it and just laugh at it and just see what it is. And like, we watched it. It's so bad, like cringe. I mean,
nobody's defending the show right now. Nobody.
No, it's like got like 2% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, it's horrible. No one likes it. No one likes it. It reminds me of the Thundercats, so-called Thundercats revive. So you know what they did to Teen Titans? They were gonna do like a Teen Titans Go version of Thundercats. It's like, don't fuck with Thundercats, bro. Don't even fuck with Thundercats, B.
Yeah.
People weren't with it, bro. People were pissed. They were like, nah. Like that.
You want a rocket fired at your building. You do.
Fuck with Thundercats, B. Don't fuck with them. But but those who watched Invincible #1 were introduced to a variety of different characters that barely had any screen time. And I got a picture of some of them. Let me see if I can throw this picture up here. There's a gang of dope characters. Yeah. And we saw them for like a brief second, some of these guys right here. But the art in this comic is cool. Like, I love the art style in this book. It's mad, like, it's American, but
it's just cool as hell.
Yeah, but anime, but it's just good. It's just dope. Yeah, you can.
I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, but there's tons of characters from the comics and the larger Invincible universe that we didn't get to see. But season 2 potentially going to be bigger, better threats, and expanding the scope of the superhero world, and could include introducing Bulletproof, which I really hope members of the member of the Guardians of the Globe who becomes invincible for a moment for an arc. You got the Shapesmith, a superhero Martian who escapes from Mars. And season 2 can give us characters like Brit, was an older like Captain America type super soldier, kind of character called Brit. You had Tech Jacket, was like a teen with like an alien vest. Wolfman was like this businessman that like turns into a wolf. What? Okay, you like my stuff. That's cool. God damn. Relax, bro. Ding, 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 ding.
Reno's killer.
I'm blowing up on Instagram. But yeah, I mean, Kirkman created a lot of characters in separate comics that eventually became heavily tied into the Invincible universe. So it's like, it's got like that whole extended universe and stuff. Like Invincible it's bigger than just that comic. It's actually got a pretty big universe, man. There's also an opportunity for season 2 to give other supporting characters, like from season 1, like Alan the Alien, the Seth Rogen dude. He was in season 1. He had a few scenes, but he is specifically well positioned to play a much bigger role in the next season, because he's far from a random character, who only will appear one time, in the comics, because in the comics, Alan the Alien, he's got a major role in possible storylines that for season 2 that we'll see. And then the same can be said for like Battle Beast, because like I said, there's an issue, I think it's number 85, where the whole cover is just Battle Beast on the cover. Is my favorite Invincible cover, and that comes later. So he's out here. We saw him damn near kill Invincible in season 1. You got Rexplode, and just
what they set up with a robot was really, really interesting, and I'm hoping they come back to that season 2, because that was a whole subplot. So I'd love to see that.
Hell yeah, man. There's a lot, bro. And Robert Kirkman did an interview about it. Let me see if I can see it. Oh yeah, he said the interview is like what was it like working alongside such a talented group of animators and writers and just a sublime voice cast to see this come to fruition? And he said it was really gratifying with everyone coming together to bring this dumb comic idea to life. It's amazing that we have a team of the absolute best of the best to really put a bunch of blood, sweat, and tears into the series. I think now that people have seen the first season, you see just how much we packed into each episode. It was an undertaking that I wasn't even really aware of, even when we were in it, what we were actually doing. Our hour-long episodes aren't just two half-hour episodes put together. It's actually the content that would be in 3 or 4 animated episodes normally. And it took a massive team spread across Los Angeles and Vancouver and South Korea to bring all this together. It was quite an undertaking. And then they said, what was it like to see your creation have 2 Oscar nominees engaged in the epic fight between Omni-Man and Invincible? And he said, yeah, it's a massively monumental scene in the story of Invincible, and it's a scene that people point to as what really drove people to the series. Being able to rewrite that scene was a lot of fun, but I guess the best way to describe the recording and listening to J.K. Simmons and Stephen Yin do that dialogue and play out the scene is that it was kind of a religious experience for me. It was just absolutely insane hearing them say some lines of dialogue that were pulled straight from the comic and watching as they embody these characters and told a very brutal and very emotional story. It was really moving. And yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, that and they said it seemed like every time Mark was about to save someone or save the day in the finale, it all went wrong. With his fight with Omni-Man expanding significantly on the same scene from the comics, what was it like building on that? And of course, he just said a lot of fun. It was something I got to play with in the Guardian's death scene at the end of the episode as well. We took the scene as it existed in the comics, and I was able to pry the scene apart and add more stuff in the middle, which was a lot of fun. But I really wanted to make sure that scene had the emotional punch that I wanted it to have. It definitely did. Definitely did.
And the shock value, for
And
sure.
the shock value. It really did. Yeah.
And they said, how difficult was it to find the balance between the source material and the television format when adapting? Some storylines didn't happen until a little bit later in the comic, and some elements were changed around to better flow with this format. I like this question because this can be asked to Marvel and DC, but they never do it. Like they're not good at adapting the source material and keeping it, keeping true to the source material. But I think Robert Kirkman is. But I think Robert Kirkman is it's Image Comics, but it's Walking Dead, and Invincible. Kirkman is really good at sticking to the comic. And in fact, the only time they really change stuff is on purpose to throw you off so you don't know what's going to happen.
Like the Guardian's death, because that was like issue number 7 or whatever. I was like, oh, we're doing this now? Oh my God.
Right. Exactly. And he said most of that was pretty organic. He said, I think that there were scenes from 16, 17, 18, 19, and some of the issues that happened after Nolan and Mark's confrontation that were moved up. Rearranging stuff was a fun process. We wanted you to get to know Mark a little bit more and see him being put through his paces in order to make him show more of who he was and the person that maybe make you a little bit more invested in his life going into this confrontation with Nolan. It's kind of hard to read the way they do it with no punctuation. It's just words. By doing that, we had a lot of things that we needed to move up and make all those work. And it's one of those storylines that we moved up a little bit, but I think it's somewhat organic process. And I think the differences in the medium is really where the fun comes out. I'm very familiar with the comic. Wait, didn't you write the comic? Didn't Robert Kirkman write the comic? Okay, well, he said, I'm very familiar
Yeah,
with the comic
yeah.
book. I know how the story went there. I know the
We
fan
hope
base
so.
there also read the
Maybe
comic
the way he said it is different than how it's.
Yeah, maybe he meant like,
You know,
of
I'm
course,
sure his
maybe
inflection and tone of voice was different.
yeah, because maybe he meant like, obviously, I'm very familiar with the comic book, and I know how the story went there. I know the fan base out there also read the comic book, and I want them to be as excited and engaged in the show as they were when they first read the comics. Thank you, Robert Kirkman. There's a novel fucking idea. Marvel. I think that those differences help, and if you haven't read the comics, it just makes for a lighter, more engaging story, a tighter, more engaging story. And if you have read the comics, it's like, cool, I didn't expect this now. This was different. I'm surprised that this is happening now. And it gives you a little bit more engagement than if you were simply checking the boxes. I think those differences are very important. I mean, couldn't have said it better. You know, it's like
maybe Marvel and DC will get that.
that's the one
Hopefully.
thing.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that would be the one.
Hopefully they will. Yeah.
One wish. Yeah, my one wish for Marvel would be to understand that we liked the comics. That's why we're watching the movies. So use that stuff. Yeah. But you can I think maybe they didn't realize that they could change certain beats to make it unpredictable. Like that's what they did in Walking Dead. That's what they did in Invincible. You can do that. You can do that,
And they
Marvel.
kind of did. It like you didn't. It was just not good.
Not enough.
It wasn't good. It
just wasn't enough from the comics for me, man. It wasn't close enough.
The fact that Civil War was only one movie is a travesty. Like,
oh yeah, come on, that was a huge event. That
was huge.
Titles and months. Yeah, that one movie for Civil War was weird. It was so dumb. Like you had like they met up in the parking lot and had a fight. Like that's not
at the airport.
What at the airport? Like
airport, yeah.
Yeah, school at 3:00 at the airport.
Yeah,
let's duke it out. And then like everything that happened like meant nothing.
Let's get it
after. And meant nothing after that, right? It was just like that never happened.
Let's get it popping
all
at the
that.
airport.
Or what's his name? Like Rhodey's crippled now, but we'll just pretend that didn't happen.
The Sokovia Accords. Oh yeah, that was like over in a throwaway line. So that's great.
Yep. But lots of changes, man. Not for the better. What's Jeremy Renner saying about his leg? Let me see. Jeremy Renner braves reports of being unable to ever walk again by promoting new series on Twitter. Whoa. Okay, so the face of modern American Westerns, Taylor Sheridan, has been in a frenzy of creation with the unparalleled magnitude of shows being rolled into production in a constant stream. Among those, Mayor of Kingstown, that's the one I was telling you guys to watch, Mayor of Kingstown, has been at the center of a lot of talks recently, especially surrounding its lead, Jeremy Renner, since the actor survived critical bone-crushing injury on New Year's Day. The world has been obsessively checking up on the Hawkeye protagonist and his condition pertaining to the progress of his injuries. But can he walk? Amid his hospitalization, however, Renner is barely held back from keeping his fans updated, entertained, and calm regarding his health. But the latest post has been the promotion of his Paramount Plus series. And it looks like even from the hospital bed, the actor has been a constant source of inspiration about what it means for those who love and committed to their job. But can he walk?
Well, okay. According to People, they're saying a close source told Renner, to Renner, told People that he has a long road, but he's making positive progress and he was crushing all progress goals. Now, People, they don't typically, they're not TMZ. Like, they're pretty good with their sources. So I would take that to be about as factual as it can be.
Yeah. Okay. And this part says, on January 1st, Jeremy Renner had tragically become involved in a silver accident, blah, blah, blah. Currently, rumors about his leg needing amputation have been flittering about on social media after a close friend of the family mentioned that the impact of Renner's injuries makes it highly unlikely that the actor would ever be able to walk right again. according to reports by Radar Online. That's yeah. First of all,
I mean, that's understandable.
It doesn't say
Right.
not ever
It says you
be
can't, not
be
ever
walking.
walking
It
again.
said
It
walk
says
right.
walk right. Yeah. I mean, and that's understandable. He had
And
an
that,
accident.
of
So he
course,
got damaged.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And
You
even
only
if he
get
loses
one.
a leg, he can still walk. I mean,
Yeah. Like,
people
yeah, you
got
only
no
get one
legs, and
leg.
they be running on the fucking in the Olympics
They
with
call
no
them
legs.
gazelles. They call them
Yeah,
gazelle legs or something like
the
that.
spring joints. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
They call them.
just saying, like, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be wheelchair bound. I just don't. I just hope. I just hope not. But I don't think, man. It just seems like a lot. But I don't really get what happened either. If he's driving a snowplow, how did you get run over by the snowplow? I'm not really clear. Because I can't run myself over in my car.
I heard he tried. I heard this is. I read on TMZ. He was using it, and I guess he got out of it somehow and was like he was talking to somebody. He got out of it and it started moving,
That
and
just
he
kept
ran and tried to
rolling,
catch
yeah.
it. Yeah, no,
Mm,
it was still, and then it popped in again. Whatever he
mm,
did, I don't know what he did, but it started moving. He ran to try to catch it. That's how he got ran over, and then
yeah.
the thing crashed, and that's why they did an investigation because they were trying to find out how they were like us, like, well, how did this happen? Like, wait a minute. And I think you have to have like a certain type of license or something to drive a snowcat. Like you can't anybody can't just drive one of those. You have to have
Right.
like training and
Mhm.
some other stuff. So they were saying if he was operating it and he didn't use safety precautions, like basically if it was me, I would have left it running. If I stopped to talk, I would shut it off and got out and talked to somebody. But I don't know.
Yeah.
They said he tried to Hawkeye it. He tried to Hawkeye it. That's what happened.
Tried to, yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
Right.
Italy's #1 fugitive, the mafia boss.
I seen that earlier.
Nah,
Today.
Reno Gambino. Reno Gambino got to talk about. Talk about the the situation in Italy with my brethren, my paisans over here. But the mafia boss convicted of helping to mastermind some of the nation's most heinous slayings was arrested Monday when he sought treatment at a private clinic in Sicily after 30 years on the run. For 30 years, man, they couldn't catch Matteo Messina Denaro was tried in absentia and convicted of dozens of murders, including helping mastermind, along with other Cosa Nostra bosses, a pair of 1992 bombings that killed top anti-mafia prosecutors and led the Italian state to stiffen its crackdown on the Sicilian crime syndicate. And he faces multiple life sentences, that he's expected to serve in a max security prison under the particularly restrictive conditions reserved for top organized crime bosses. They don't fuck around. This is not America. This is Italy. This is not the American mafia. This is Cosa Nostra. This is the real, I'm not gonna say real American mafia.
This
Real.
is everything the movies are based off of.
This is some different shit. The mob over there, the mafia over there is different. They do
different.
things different. It's a very different type of organization.
It's very coded. It's sort of like the Yakuza. It's just deep. It's real deep.
Yeah.
It goes deep, it's real deep, and it's a lot that goes to it.
Right. And it's a foreign country and it's a foreign language and they're different people. It's just a different society. Even mobsters from America, don't necessarily get along with mobsters from Italy and vice versa. But he went into hiding a year after the bombings in '92 when he was still a young dude. But he was, still considered one of Cosa Nostra's top bosses, even as a fugitive. And hundreds of police officers were, tasked over the years with tracking him. And the last of 3 longtime top level mob bosses who managed to elude capture for decades. He's now 60 years old, and
I was getting ready to bring that up. I was getting ready to say, look,
yeah,
he's old.
He's
And
60,
listen, yeah,
and
he's 60.
he's been on the run for 30 years, so he's not been
Yeah,
able to get certain health, and he got caught because he was going to a clinic, so he's not been able to do medical shit that most people would do.
we'll do at 60.
And
Yeah,
yeah, and
and then you got to think too.
he
He's
was
on the
30
run,
when he went on
right?
the
He's
run.
on the run, right? And he's not able to really take care of himself like he would if he wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So,
saying.
you know,
Yeah,
he's eating fast food all the time. He's
right,
probably gaining a
right.
lot of weight. I'm
Uh,
keeping it a buck. I mean, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
keeping it a buck. He can't,
Different
right?
over
He
there,
can't
but
really
yeah,
be seen. He can't get out much and go for a walk or exercise, anything like that. He basically stuck inside of a house somewhere, just
yeah.
hiding out, man, watching
He can't do
watching
doctor's
Marvel
appointments.
movies. Yeah, he watching
Yeah,
Marvel movies.
watching
He chilling.
MCU.
Yeah, he watching
Yeah,
MCU. He
that's it.
chilling. He couch potato, man.
On
It's his
Disney
health.
Plus.
Yeah, and you gotta
Um,
move as you get older. You gotta move.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like being locked. I mean, you see what
It's
happens to
like being
prisoners.
locked up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
see
should,
what
I would have
happens
just
to
yeah, I
prisoners.
would have just right. Yeah, I would have just went to
They
prison because
aged
it's the same
early,
thing.
right?
Yeah, I would have just went to prison because it's the same thing. I mean, the only difference is I can sneak to the corner store and get a cheesesteak and come back. That's about it.
Yeah, right.
But
You know, but during well, the authorities didn't say what he was being treated for, but he was captured at La Maddalena clinic in Palermo, and it's an upscale medical facility with a good reputation for treating cancer patients. But the Italian media said that he was undergoing treatment for a year already. So I guess he was just going to an appointment. They must have like found out he was going
somebody,
there, got his
yeah,
next
somebody
appointment
recognized him.
time,
Yeah,
and
maybe
Yeah,
someone
and
tipped
right.
them off. Or
Yeah,
yeah,
somebody
somebody
recognized him.
police officer.
it's
Yeah, somebody
possible.
recognized him. Yeah, somebody probably
Mhm.
said, "Yo, he looked like such and such."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
dropped a dime. Yeah, somebody saw him, man.
yeah.
That's the only way it had to happen. His disguise wasn't he? He got to be Matches Malone. He got to dress up. He got to play the part.
Yeah, he was the investigator said that he was unarmed and dressed like a typical patient at the clinic, though wearing a $30,000 watch. um, but he didn't resist at all. What is he gonna do? He's 60 years old. He's like, all right, what are you gonna do? A pair of officers, each holding an arm, walked
He might
Messino
have been happy. He
down the
might have been
front
happy,
step.
Reno. He might, yeah,
You
he might have
never
just been
know.
like, you know what,
You
yeah.
never know.
Because think about it now. When he go to jail, he definitely gonna get medical attention. I
Yeah,
mean, he's
yeah.
definitely gonna get his treatments, whatever he was getting treated for. Um,
But it won't be as
sometimes,
good. It won't be good medical treatment in prison.
nah,
Not a
but he's gonna
not a
get it. Yeah, he gonna get it.
He'll get
But he
some.
just,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
gonna get something, and he just, he ain't gotta hide no more. At 60 years old, he
But he
probably
was
like, man, look, I'm
living.
tired of hiding.
I mean, he was just wearing a leather jacket. He had his cap and his shades on, and he was
He was just
just
chilling.
chilling. But yeah, I mean, shortly after his arrest, you could see him like looking out the windows and shit. But dozens of police officers wearing ski masks converged on the clinic. Local residents, knew something big was going to happen when Massimo Denaro was brought outside. People like were applauding. It was like a big deal and shit. And the Palermo chief prosecutor told the reporters that the fugitive had used the pseudonym Andrea Bonafide and had an Italian identity card that with that name, and he used the alias. The surname roughly means good faith in Italian to book a morning appointment at the clinic. In addition to convictions for the killings of the prosecutors, Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino. Oh, wow. The prosecutor's name, Giovanni Falcone. Must know Falcone from Batman. But he was also found guilty of killing Falcone's wife and several of their bodyguards, as well as the grisly murder of a mafia turncoat's young son who was abducted and strangled before his body was dissolved in a vat of acid. And he was among Cosa Nostra's bosses convicted of ordering a series of bombings in 1993 that caused the fatalities of and damaged the Uffizi galleries in Florence and two major churches in Rome. So basically, he did a lot of dirt. And after 30 years, man, 38 years, actually. So damn near 40 years. So he was 23 when he went on the run.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Damn,
he
bro.
was
That's
a
a
young
long
cat.
time to be on the run. That's a long time to be on the run.
It's a long time, man. Might as well say he beat the system on that one. 'Cause
Yeah,
now he's
even
sick.
right. Yeah, even
He
if
would
he
have been
did
in
get
prison
caught,
that whole time.
right? Yeah, even if he did get caught, like you said, he still beat the system because I mean, he's
Right.
60 years old.
He got
At
30
that
years
age,
free, 38 years free that he
right?
wouldn't have got
Yeah,
if he got
yeah, he
caught
wouldn't have
with his
got
first.
right. So like,
Maybe they
it's
weren't
like,
the best years, but as free as they
but he had
whatever.
him. It was free. Yeah,
He wasn't
it's
locked
like you
up.
like, yeah. Nah, he wasn't locked up. Yeah, at 60, you like, yeah, all
At
right,
this point,
whatever,
fuck it.
whatever. Right at this
He
point,
probably got
yeah,
cancer, and so he probably might not have another year or two. You never know.
right. Or don't right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so we never know, man. But
Ay.
I don't
Like
know,
maybe he
man.
got arrested on purpose.
Could be too. I could go with that too.
Yo, you see what I just got? This is my new favorite
You
joint.
showed me earlier.
Ooh,
I was like, man, I gotta
very
get me one of
nice.
those.
Very nice.
This was one of my favorite figures, man. Back in the day, GI Joe figures was the Crimson Guard, but they got the backpack with him. He's got a big ass knife right here that got a sheath.
He got his Bowie knife.
Little Bowie knife right there.
Very nice.
I love the little pistol or his holster and the little stuff that he's got the sword here with the sheath comes out.
Ooh, and it comes out nice.
Yeah,
that's new because he didn't have one of those. He didn't have one of those back in the day.
But what's crazy is you see he's got the AR-15 and the clip comes out. Like he literally put the clip in. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put the magazine,
Nice.
Yeah, little magazine right there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's dope detail, man.
That's dope
like
detail
that.
right there. Yeah.
That's dope detail.
Where did you find that? At like your local Walmart or?
No.
Sada, don't even do it. Don't even.
No.
Let's not go there. Sada.
Ah.
Let's not even go. I told you I'm taking.
I had to get this one
Sada,
online. I'm
literally taking the trip. I'm literally taking the trip to his town this summer.
Just to go to Walmart.
Just so I just to go to Walmart. I'm gonna come visit him and all that. But I'm going. But as soon as I get to, be like, yo, before we do anything else, dog, let's just shoot the Walmart real quick.
Then you got to come on the show and show us everything that you got from his Walmart.
Right.
Because I'm gonna be like, damn, we ain't got this. My Walmart, I ain't never seen this before.
Nah, but they got this cat on Amazon. So these are supposed to be like $25 is what they retail for, but you gonna pay $45 for this joint. Anyway,
I'm on Big Bad Toy Store.
I got it on Amazon. They might have it at Big Bad. I don't know. I just got
Big Bad. Just paid $4, man.
I got an Amazon card. I got an Amazon credit card though.
Oh, you got the right, yeah. But see, the Amazon card, you save money. So yeah, you kind of save money with that. Yeah, but I go to Big Bad. So I just paid $4 flat. Or if I get mad when it comes to GI Joe classifieds, I'm gonna keep it $1. I'll be so mad, I don't even buy them online unless I can get them for regular price. I just be like, I don't even want it. Unless I see it when I see it in the store. Like when I got Crocmaster, I see it in the store. I got it.
Crocmaster is at my Walmart. Yeah. Crocmaster I ordered though. I actually ordered that, but they have it at my Walmart. I was mad. I was like, damn, they end up having it at my Walmart any fucking way.
I finally got my Spirit. I finally got my Storm Shadow. You know what I mean? I seen one of the Crimson Twins the other day, but I didn't have time to buy it. I was in the store and I was in GameStop and they were getting ready to close. And I was mad because I wanted to get it. And the guy was like, he said, we turned everything off. And he was like, so you can look around. I was like, that's it. I said, man. So I ain't even go back. I said, if I go back tomorrow, it's gonna be gone. So I ain't even go back. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try to go back maybe this week and see if there's another GameStop I know I can go to that's in the cut. I'm gonna go there and see what they got.
When you get the Crimson Twins though, you kind of got to get both. Like I
they only had one. That's another reason why I wasn't. Yeah, they only had one. That's the other reason why I didn't really care because they only had one.
Yeah, yeah. Like I got the one, and I was like, man, this is stupid. I need the other one. I can't. But
Now you
this
gotta
guy,
get
so
both
this
of
is
them.
that's the Crimson Guard. So the twins, the Crimson Twins, they're like the corporate front for the terrorist organization known as Cobra, and this is their guards. So these
Not
guys walk
only,
around the office buildings and shit where this is like
right?
stormtroopers and shit. But there's another
That's
version of
this.
this
This.
one. There's a card back version of this one about to drop.
That's the one I
You
really
know,
want. That's the one I really want.
ooh, I'm getting that one too because on that one the face mask that's black on this is silver on that one, and he's got
Ooh.
a little bit more detail on his lapel stuff. He's got a little different features and shit. So I will grab that one. Um, but I would like to build a little unit, buy like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, and have like a
Same thing with
what you
troopers,
call
like army build them, build a get a couple of bats, couple of troopers, and a couple of these guys. But I don't know. I've seen people do that. Like they call it army building, and they'll get like 20 of this character or 10 or 15 or
yeah.
whatever. It's
I
like, where
seen
are
that
you
on
getting all
Instagram. Yeah, I seen that on
Yeah,
Instagram where people have like I seen a guy on there, bro. He must have had like 100 Cobra troopers of each trooper. Like he had them lined up, like ready to march and every. I was like, sweet
People
yeah.
just have
Jesus,
money to
bro.
burn.
Money to burn, bro, because that's them. The shits are like $30 each. So you're buying 20, even if you bought 20 of them. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, where are you going? Like when we were kids, you buy that one figure, that one soldier figure, and it's like as a kid, I knew this guy's just a trooper. He's not even like a main character. He's just a trooper, but he costs the same as all the other main characters. So it's just like
Yeah,
you're buying a regular figure, but as a kid, you can't fathom just buying one of them. It's like, nah, well, I need like 4. They should have sold them in 3 packs. They should have sold them in 3 packs. I'm pissed about that. But I know I'm right because they've recently come out with a 3 pack of Vipers now, so they know. Uh, but every
yeah.
one of them is a little bit
But see,
different. So that's when I'm
but
definitely
you
gonna
know
grab
what
that
would
three
be
pack.
dope?
Definitely.
What would be dope? If they came out with the Crimson
What's
Twins in their business attire,
Yeah. With the
mm.
suits on.
that'd be dope. Cause you
That'd
gotta
be dope.
remember, yeah, cause you gotta remember that's that's their job. They're
But don't do that
Cobra's
until you give me
financial.
characters we need, like Shipwreck and Tunnel Rat and
Then we can
I need
single
Copperhead.
that.
shipwreck. I
Yeah,
need shipwreck. I need
yeah.
shipwreck. But
Oh, I'm
later on
getting
down the
Shipwreck.
line,
Believe me.
or they could do the card back. You could do a card back of the Crimson Twins in their suits.
Yeah,
Like that'd
yeah,
be
yeah,
dope.
yeah.
Because you got to remember that's the biggest part of their allegiance to Cobra is because that's what they
Hmm.
do. They work the finance world. I mean,
Right.
they co-captain the Crimson Guard with
Yeah.
Cobra, but when it
They're the
comes to
corporate.
Cobra's finances and their corporate this and that, that's what they do. When they're not engaged in terrorism, they're corporate execs for Cobra,
Yep.
and using extensive enterprises as a front for to fund Cobra's terroristic activities. That's where Cobra gets his
Exactly.
money. It gets his money from extensive enterprises.
Right. Yep. God damn it.
And yeah, that
But
would be
yeah,
dope. Yeah, we
that
gotta
would be
get the
dope.
suit version.
I need,
Suit
I
version would be
need,
dope.
I need Major Blood.
I need
I
Major
need
Blood.
Dr. Mindbender. I need Serpentor.
Yeah. Never seen
I
any
mean,
of
like,
them. Never
I
seen them,
need
but
a
I need
lot
them.
of,
I'm gonna get them.
but those 3 are like the main ones that I really want. Dr. Mindbender, Serpentor, and Major Blood, and they're all over $100 each. You can't get one of them for. You might could get a Major Blood for like 80. It's
I never
crazy.
seen one for. I never seen one under 60. And the
Nah,
one I seen 60, he wasn't in the pack. He was
yeah,
loose.
loose. I'll buy
Yeah,
him
he
though. I'll
was.
buy a loose one. I don't care. I'll buy a loose one for cheap.
I ain't paying 60, man. I'm
But I'm not
I'm
paying
mad.
60. No,
Nah, I'm mad right now. So I don't. I be wanting to too, man. But I be like, nah, I ain't gonna do it.
I'm not gonna do
I
it.
gotta fight the war. I gotta fight the
I'm
war.
not gonna fight.
Fighting.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
do it.
fighting
Like
the war.
the only way I'm getting a Major Blood is if I see somebody, selling it for a normal price, or somebody gives me one as a gift. That's it.
Right.
So I need Major Blood,
Okay.
Dr.
Serpentor.
Mindbender, and Serpentor. If you're
All
watching
right.
this right now, my Cash App
I need
is
them all.
yeah, no,
I need them all. I need all of them. I need Destro. I need Baroness. I can get a Cobra Commander. I ain't worried about
I
that.
got Destro, I got Baroness, I got Cobra Commander,
Yeah, I
I
can get a
got
Cobra Commander. I could get. I got a
I got Gung Ho
uh
card. I got the
uh
card back Gung Ho. Did you get the card back Gung Ho or the original, the first one?
I think the car. I got the car back. My man Jamal can pick one up for me. So I had the car. I just gotta go down his crib and get. I haven't been down to see him, but when I get a chance, shout out Jamal Evans for that. But I gotta get
I got
the
the motorcycle. I got the Lady J. I got Flint.
he
I
yeah
got Spirit.
he came up on two of them on sale or something like for what else something he did and
The
I
motorcycle I
want
got. You know, it
the
came without.
motorcycle is dope.
It came with
The
the motorcycle's
the
dope, but it
motorcycle
comes
used to
with.
come with breaker. It used to
It
come
does
with
come with
breaker.
brake. Yeah, it does.
Oh, it
It's
does?
just yeah,
Okay.
it's just that I got one on eBay. Somebody they were selling breaker and the bike separate, and I was like, cool. I don't even care about breaker. Give me the bike, and I got it for like way cheaper than I would have, than it was with
Oh,
breaker.
and
So that's why I don't have breaker, but I have the bike because I bought it like
yeah,
that
because
because
originally when with the original smaller 6-inch figures, the bike
mm-hmm.
came with breaker.
Yeah,
That was the only way you could get him. And then
it still does.
they sold them, yeah, then they sold them separately later on.
Mm-hmm.
They sold they sold breaker separately later on. But Snow Job is another one I hope they bring out. I like Snow
Yeah,
Job. I used to always think Snow Job was dope.
Snow
I
Job
used
is
to
dope.
when I was a kid,
Tunnel Rat.
I used to pretend he was James Bond skiing in the snow. I used to
Yeah,
like his
yeah.
remember
But
James Bond had that one John?
what I really liked about Snow Job was he came with skis. Like
Yes, he
that was
did.
cool. Like I like
He
a
came
lot
with
of the
all the
figures that
skiing
we end up
gear.
that we like are the ones that come with a bunch of extra gear, like
Yeah.
and Torpedo, the classified version of
Torpedo.
Torpedo, they got him
He had
coming with like
all the
50,
scuba gear. Yep.
yeah, a whole
The
bunch of shit.
whole setup.
And out in shipwreck, they got his bird and shit like that.
He has
Tunnel
birds,
Rat.
depression pistol.
I'm just worried, man. I hope they make Tunnel Rat because Tunnel Rat, bro, they don't have to fuck with it, bro. Just make him look exactly like he did in the fucking 80s cartoon. Just don't even fuck with it, bro. You don't
What
have
about
to. He's
Chuckles? What
perfect.
about Chuckles? Because Chuckles was a fan favorite too. A lot of people like Chuckles.
I don't know what it was about Chuckles, man. It's like I remember getting the figure and I remember just thinking like, okay, I got Chuckles, and I was like, what? But he's like this corny looking dude wearing a Hawaiian shirt. Like he
He was the
wasn't
undercover
cool.
agent. He
He
was
wasn't
the
cool.
undercover guy. A lot of people liked it. I think it was because of Miami Vice. He looked like he kind of looked
Yeah,
like Don Johnson back then.
yeah.
He had the shirt, the
That's who he
Miami
was.
Hawaiian shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But they should. I would have been. I probably would have been down if he had like a white sport coat with the sleeves rolled up and like a pink T-shirt underneath. Really
yeah,
Miami Vice style. That would have been cool. But
yeah,
yeah,
that would have been real cool.
Chuckles would be coming. He'll be coming. They'll be doing a Chuckles, but Copperhead is one
Copperhead's
that I'm
another
really
one. Yeah.
excited for. Yeah, Copperhead, Torpedo.
Torpedo.
The Cobra Frogman, they haven't talked about. He's a fucking dope ass looking character.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was a
awesome.
dope kid. Yeah, he was a dope figure too.
Dope
The
figure.
Dreadnoughts. Don't forget the Dreadnoughts. Zartan
Well,
and his
yeah.
crew. They were all dope.
They already they got Zartan, Zorana, and
Zoran
her
is out. I
brother.
know. I heard. Yeah, her brother. Yeah.
Her
But
brother's
they said
coming
I
out.
heard the Dreadnought. I heard
And
they're bringing out the Dreadnoughts, but not all of them at once. I think we're only getting
yeah, they'll
Buzzer.
a couple of
I
them.
think we're only getting Buzzer and Ripper first, or something like
Buzzer
that.
and Ripper, and then Monkey Wrench, and then
Or Buzzer and then Torch, because you got Buzzer, Ripper, and Torch. They were the original three, and then we got Monkey Wrench,
then we got Monkey Wrench.
and
We
there was
got
another one.
Naugahyde. We got Naugahyde was one, Road Pig was one, Thrasher was one. Thrasher came with the car. Yeah, he came with the car. Yeah.
Thrasher was dope, man. I used to like Thrasher.
He had the green stripes in his hair and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always wanted Thrasher, man.
He came with Thrasher. You had to buy the vehicle. It was called the
no,
no,
it wasn't a Marauder. It wasn't a
No.
Marauder. It was called the. It's on the tip of my tongue.
About it.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It was called the Dreadnought. It might be
Called
right.
the
It might have
Thunder
been. It might have
Machine.
been the Thunder.
It's called the
Yes.
Thunder Machine, and it was looked like a pieced together junkyard of parts all put
I'll tell
together with
you.
like
I'll
armor
tell you an
plating.
interesting story. I'll tell you an interesting story about that. They invented the Dreadnoughts because at the time when the Dreadnoughts came out, that's when they came out with Mad Max.
Yeah.
And G.I. Joe wanted to do, or Hasbro wanted, like, it was popular. So like Mad Max and
Yeah,
that
they were
whole
just
look was
doing a Mad
popular.
Max
So they're
uh
right. They wanted to do something in the fashion of that.
apocalyptic.
And that's
Yeah.
right. And that's why they came out with the Dreadnoughts and that's why they look so kind of like they look like they're out of a Mad Max movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that they just was trying to they were being Hollywood. They were they was cashing in on what's hot.
That's Mad Max
Thunder
all day right
Machine.
there. That's Mad
Yeah,
Max.
that is. Yeah, that's Mad Max all day. Yeah.
Yeah. Dreadnought Thunder Machine. And you got
Yeah.
Torch, Ripper, and that's Thrasher in the driver's seat. And he's got a little green like green stripes in his hair and shit. Yep, and then there was Road Pig.
Yeah, Thrasher, Torch, Zanzibar. I forgot about
Zanzibar. Yeah.
And Rawhide.
Naugahyde.
Yeah, Xandar and Zorana.
What is that motherfucker?
Cool.
No, it's hold on. I don't know what it is. Desert Scorpion. Oh, fuck yeah. That's crazy. And then they had the black guy, Storm Shadow. Bro. Yeah, they want $400 for this shit. All right, so I'm gonna show you. They want 400 and something dollars. So Desert Scorpion, I remember getting Desert Scorpion. That dude was so fucking cool. I remember like really being happy that
Don't forget Firefly, Dr. Venom.
Oh nice.
Scrap Iron.
Firefly.
So many.
Blackout.
So many.
It is a lot.
Too many. Yeah, but check this guy. So
don't forget Cobra Vipers.
The Cobra Ninja, the black Storm Shadow. He's got like a tan off-white color suit and brown skin, and then Desert Scorpion had this big ass giant pet scorpion.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he was crazy.
So by that time they were reaching about.
Oh, that was like jumping the shark.
What's going on?
That was jumping the shark shit right there.
I was like, that seems way off the mark.
They were reaching at that time.
They call it jumping the shark.
Yeah, they were reaching at that time.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry you had to see that.
Oh
sorry
no!
You had to witness that. All right, here goes. Yeah, here's the Dreadnoughts. The original four.
It's the original Ripper, Torch, Monkey Wrench. Well, actually, original 3, and then Monkey Wrench came later.
Monkey Wrench came later. Not much later. He was pretty much right after.
Yeah, about a year later. About a year after they came out. Yeah, they dropped Monkey Wrench.
Big Country in the building.
Big Country, what's up? Happy MLK Day, brother. Yeah, man. I used to love the Dreadnoughts, man. I just thought they was the coolest thing ever, man.
Oh yeah. Dreadnoughts were the shit because I love Mad Max and all of that shit. Like still to this day, post-apocalyptic genre is still one of my by far favorite film sci-fi genres out there.
That was the inspiration for him. Even Zartan. That was the inspiration for Zartan and the Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, well, Zartan, yeah, he was the leader of the Dreadnoughts. You know, he was dope because he had sort of like a skin condition where if in the sun he would turn like purple and shit. and
Yeah, he
he
didn't
could
like. He couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't stand the sunlight.
couldn't fuck
He
with
had
the
to stay in the
sun and
shadows
stayed
and
in
shit.
like
Yeah, he ain't
swamps
mess with.
and shit.
Yeah,
And but yeah, but he could disguise himself as anybody and shit. That's why I named my chameleon Zartan, because he's a chameleon.
yeah. Zartan was dope, bro.
Yeah,
Don't forget Tripwire. Tripwire is another one.
yeah.
Ripcord.
Ripcord.
Tripwire.
Alpine. Alpine is somebody they need to make.
Alpine.
I would love to see an Alpine classified figure.
Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter. I mean, I know they got him, but that's one of my other favorites.
Yeah, they got him. Yeah, I wasn't like a big fan of him, but I had one, and I just always thought he was like a jokey character. I was like, man, they just like added him in, and he just comes in, he can just beat up everybody with no problem. It was almost like he was a joke.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Sergeant Slaughter punch you in the face in the middle.
Dusty's already out.
Dusty already out.
Yeah,
Dusty's already out. Big country. Yeah, get your Dusty while you can. Yeah, Dusty is another fan favorite. That's another fan favorite.
Yeah. I want to see Dusty. The only reason I haven't got a Dusty yet is because I'm really not a fan of the way he looks in the classified version. He's not. He could have been better, man. The way they got his hat, like they should have used cloth for like his hat thing, because even the little figure back in the 80s
had a little cloth, a little piece of cloth,
mixed media. Yeah. Like, so why is the classified got a plastic fucking, like, I'm like, what? You realize in the 80s the little toy had cloth on it, right? Why you can't put cloth on it?
I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Looks like a helmet.
Right.
In like a bad way.
Right. And it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a helmet with like cloth camo coming down, like to protect his neck from the sun or whatever, because he's in the desert.
Yeah. They could have did that a little better with the headpiece.
Oh yeah. But one figure that I would love to see is Budo, man. But I don't think we're gonna get a Budo for a long time.
No, we won't. We'll see. They've been listening to the fans, and we've been getting some pretty good stuff. So we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's all we can do. Because, like, people complained about the way, like Roadblock. People complained about the way he looked. It was like, can we just get the classic character, please? We don't want this new 2000.
Yeah, I didn't want the futuristic Roadblock.
Space age, futuristic.
They made like 3 of them.
Yeah, nobody bought them until. Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody bought them. And then when they made the classic one, it flew off the shelves. I mean, how dumb could you be? Like, literally, how could you not? Oh, Bushido. How could you not? What you call it?
Budo. And Night Viper.
Night Viper. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm a G.I. Joe fan, but I like what they did with the classifieds. But if they take the classifieds and make them like they were back in the day, like that, we're good.
Yeah, that's this one, the new Storm Shadow, this one, the Crimson Twin, like everything that started coming out on the second or third phase. Because when classified first came out, it was the original figures, and even like the second wave, I think maybe even the third wave, they were futuristic versions of the G.I. Joe characters. None of them looked anything like they did in the 80s. They had like silver guns and like space age kind of armor on. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
And so people were like, cool. It wasn't
reminiscent. Right. It wasn't reminiscent of G.I. Joe. Like,
yeah. So fans were like, it would be really cool if they made them look like how they did in the 80s. And so Hasbro listened and they made some look like that. And that's when it blew up, and classified became this huge thing. And it's all because they made them look like the originals. Like this looks just like the original Roadblock. I mean, to the T. You got the same shirt.
Think about it. I mean, all you got to do is reinvent the wheel. That's it. That's all Hasbro had to do. Because like when we were kids, they had articulation, but they didn't have a level of detail. So now Hasbro can reinvent the wheel and say, I'll give you the articulation and the detail at the same time and give you even better figure than I gave you back in the 80s. Listen, you can sell 1 million more G.I. Joes, 2 million more. All you got to do is reinvent the wheel. That's it.
Right. And all right, this okay. Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Give me a second.
And don't forget the dread. Remember the dreadnoughts had a tricycle too. I used to try to find something for them to ride. Like when I was a
Yeah.
kid, I used to always try to find like a motorcycle that they would fit on.
Mhm.
Never had no luck. Then I could put all three of them on a separate motorcycle, like they
So
did in
you
the
see this?
cartoons.
Yeah. Yeah. So you see this guy, you see how he looks he got regular olive drab looking green camo, right? Looks like a regular Marine or whatever. He's got like silver look like space rifles
Yeah.
and like
And
all this
boots,
weird
yeah,
armor and shit.
and space boots and all that. Yeah,
But that's how he looked in the original.
Oh.
yeah, that's the original. That's
So they
and that's
finally came
like
out with this one, and people, this is what we were all waiting for.
Yeah, I like that better than that.
Yeah, this was the first figure I bought. This one right here, this Gung Ho, because Gung Ho was one of my favorite characters, and I
mine
was like,
too.
oh,
Yeah,
shit,
he's
they
one.
got
Yeah,
Gung Ho, and I bought him and shit, and I was like, man, he's really cool. I was like, yeah, it's Gung Ho, and then I started thinking about, I'm like, man, but it'd be cooler if they had like the turquoise camo, like the original one, and if his hat was a little bit and his mustache. I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't nothing like Gung Ho. I don't even like this. And then they came out with this one, which is basically a replica of the 80s one.
Yeah,
And
that's dope.
that's what they need to do. Is they need to do. I mean, these are like replicas of the 80s figures, and as long as they're doing replicas of the 80s figures, these things are gonna fly off the shelves, and like they can't keep them in stores. They can't. It's that crazy. Like they don't even hit shelves sometimes. So they did the right thing with that. And I'm glad. It's a good time to be a fan of G.I. Joe and Transformers and Star Wars and Marvel, I'll tell you. Because for many years, like growing up, kids that they don't know, bro, we didn't have there was no movies, like there was no representation of our comic shit in anything.
If you only seen what we went, I mean, but we loved it. It was the best we got, so we was like, all
Yeah,
right, we
right.
took it. But now,
But now it's
please,
crazy. And it's like the
yeah.
nostalgia and I guess it's just people from our era are now grown ups and they're the ones making the shit. So we're making it.
And
They're
buying it,
making it
yeah,
look like it was
buying
the
it
80s,
too.
and then we're
And we
buying
like,
it. Yeah.
yeah, we like, we ain't missing out on this one. I'll take one or two of those. But then you got scalpers, and now you got scalpers to just ruin the whole game.
Oh God, the scalpers. Screw you,
Ruined it.
scalpers.
Yes, they're the lowest of the low. They're lower than
Yes.
dirt. They're one-celled organisms.
Scum of the earth.
Amoebas. Amoebas.
Scum
You
of the
need to
earth.
be paid.
Keep
Because
them
how
rich.
you gonna sell something? Yeah, how you gonna sell something for more money that it costs to make and sell, so you can make it? That doesn't make any sense. Who
Yeah,
is
I mean
hustling
it's like
backwards?
5 times the original price. I'm like,
Right.
what
That's
are
like
you?
yeah.
Sweet.
Like like first of all, you don't own it and you didn't make it, but you selling it for like 3 times the price that it's worth. Where's that
Yeah.
even? How's that even compute? Like,
That's the real reason why PS5s were so hard to come by. All the scalpers bought them up and were selling them for like almost $2,000. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like,
it was
or it's like
that was
$1,000 to $2,000. I'm like, what are you
and
doing?
I blame Sony. I
Yeah.
blame Sony and all of them for that, because as soon as they saw that happening, they should have halted
Right.
all online sales. I would have halted all online sales and sent all my product straight to the store. I'd have been like, you know what? We're not even doing any online sales. Just go to the store and
Yeah,
get
just
them.
go to the store.
I get the
yeah,
thing
it's
with COVID,
100% on Hasbro.
but I
It's
would have just
100%.
been like, just go to the store and get it, because when we put them online, they're selling. You got people botting. You're getting botted. Nobody
Yeah.
had bot technology, 15 years ago. On the last one, 10 was it 7, 8, 10 years ago when the last PlayStation came out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you know what? The new should be a new Mandalorian trailer
Oh,
coming soon.
Mandalorian.
But me personally, I just figured, man, look, I just figured that, you know, someday the Scouts are gonna lose, and we'll be able to get classifieds in the store the way we're supposed to.
Yeah, keep your fingers crossed. It could happen. Before we go, I want to talk about the new HBO show Last of Us.
Mm.
Cause
Oh yeah, it
damn,
did release. Yeah.
I mean, wow, like talk about heart wrenching fucking dramatic,
Damn,
oh,
Reno,
bro, like
Reno,
heartbreaking, bro, like oh,
remember, Reno. I'm watching the new Mandalorian trailer right now. I just turned the game on and they showing the new Mandalorian. It is dope, bro.
on what game?
Oh, football. Yeah, they're dropping the
Yeah,
trailers.
tonight.
Football
Yeah,
games.
tonight is the biggest game of the year. One of the biggest games of the year. You got March 1st, season 3 of Mandalorian will be March 1st. They're showing it's Cowboys and Bucks, but they just
Oh,
showed the Mandalorian trailer that's dope. They showed a dope Mandalorian trailer. Oh my god.
oh snap! Yeah, they be dropping them TV spots during the games. They just slip them out there. I'm like, dang.
Mm. So
Okay.
March 1st, I will be parked in front of the TV on March 1st.
Oh
To
yeah.
see, I can't wait to see. But The Last of Us, dope. I love it. Some changes that they made that I guess it's for TV, so I gotta live with it.
Hold
I
on,
played the
hold
games.
on. We might have this Mando season 3 trailer here.
Yeah, if not tonight, definitely in the next 2 days. It'll definitely be there.
Well, wait, okay.
Somebody put it up already?
I know,
Well,
people are quick.
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like as soon as you said it was up, I'm like, okay, somebody's got it up. I promise. Yeah, but they're doing lives. They're watching it live. They're doing live breakdowns, live reactions. I guess they're
Oh
waiting
yeah,
for it
probably
to
the
come
Star
on.
Wars channels. They are
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah. That's not. So I guess it's not. Maybe it's not yet. Yeah, new trailer. Ooh. Oh yeah. Got it. All right, guys, we're gonna watch this. All right, here we go.
And they even gave a release date, March 1st.
And drinking Reva were way worse than both containers.
Yeah, Omega sucked. Reva sucked. All right. All right, rednecks. I don't care about your opinions about anything. Let's do the trailer. All right, rednecks talking about.
Base network, and here's a little Mandalorian for you. Thank you.
All right, here we go.
Go.
What a cutie. Oh, come on, DH technology. Oh.
No, that wasn't it. Oh,
No, this might be it.
That wasn't the one I saw. Yeah.
Oh, Disney Plus released it. On it.
It's on Disney.
I turned the game. I turned the game on to see the score.
Mm-hmm.
They kept saying the Mandalorian. So I was like, oh, let me do this here. So let me see if this is a new trailer. I was like,
yeah, maybe it's not officially on.
And right at halftime, they just showed the trailer right at halftime.
Oh, nice.
It was a super dope trailer.
Yeah, perfect timing, Stu.
Yeah. I had to see the score. Game came on at 8:30. I'm like, oh shoot, the game. I'm like, oh,
okay.
Right. Speaking of that,
ready? Oh, let me remove the banner.
Okay,
Is it-
sorry. Here we go.
Is it?
What? I was just gonna say, guys,
it?
it's our reaction to Mando season 3 trailer.
Shut
We're
the
gonna
fuck
make you
up.
guys wait 2 more seconds.
Yeah.
Galaxy. What are we?
Yeah, this is it. That's it.
And for
Ooh,
Okay.
nice.
It looks like he's emerging as a leader.
Look, you already know how these channels do. They're gonna talk all throughout, especially for copyright.
But the armor said he's a Mandalorian no
know how
more.
to navigate the galaxy.
Okay.
That way, you'll never be lost.
For the copyright.
Oh,
Oh wow, looks like Luke Carter's cleaned up that town. New armor.
I'm going to Mandalore so that I may be forgiven for my transgressions.
Okay.
May the force be with you!
This is the way.
You got our top.
There's something deep about it.
Ooh, we know.
By the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Ooh.
Hang on, kid.
Jedi?
I love those little guys.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so cute. Oh no. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cute.
Grogu don't play.
Yeah, okay. What are the standings?
Don't say Baby Yoda don't play. Don't say that.
We're going to go through it a little slower here. You ready? Yeah.
Now there you go. Dude, those Jedis were fucking cool looking, bro. They had
Yeah, they won like all their battles.
yeah,
Robes and everything.
they had some mullets and shit.
Right here.
Oh, nice cantina shot.
Battle droids.
Battle
Yeah.
droids from the separatist.
All droids. It's all.
Remember how the cantina was like, we don't allow droids in here?
Yeah. Or maybe we're going to find out why.
Now this is no cantina that's only droids. So they don't allow. Yeah, they don't allow
humans. They don't allow people in there.
Yeah, they don't
They
allow
don't allow
organic life.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Mando's jumping out. That's your boy right there.
Is this? Yeah, this looks like the city that we see Grief Karga in.
That's this guy.
Must be great to live near Walmart that got stuff. Must be great.
Woo!
I'd have bought that as soon as I saw it.
Woo!
Bam.
I'd have bought that as soon as I saw it.
Yeah.
No one says Navarro.
Now those little guys, those little that there was this little alien in the Ryan Johnson travesty. I forget his little name, but he was like little. That's what he was, one of those. And I was like, man, it's a shame that this movie sucks, and those little aliens are so cool. I hope that we get to see them again, and so that's really cool that we get to see him again. What are they talking about?
Right, so that looks sort of like the Wolfman from.
Yeah, probably dissecting the trailer.
Yeah, that's all they doing.
Yeah.
We know it's not the Wolfman, and we know it's just a creature from Star Wars. That's what we'll call it. And with they're showing you the force of Grogu. I knocked him out with one force punch, and came up out of the cave like, back up off me. I got somewhere I gotta be.
I don't like the graphics on Grogu right there. Why did he look mad cheap?
Might have been.
Still early. Still early production. Early production is just a trailer. It's gonna look good in March
Yeah.
1st. We got a whole month. We got a whole month and some change.
Yeah.
It's gonna look good. It's gonna look good.
I get nervous. I get
It's gonna look
nervous.
good.
I
Don't worry
get-
about it. It's gonna look good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great. Baby. It's gonna look good.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna look good.
All right.
Listen, man. Listen, they got big. In my opinion, they got big shoes to fill. Because after watching Andor, bro,
Whee!
they just
Andor
raised the
is
bar again. Mandalorian raised the bar, and then Andor was like, so now
like you thought
Mandalorian got to go. You know what I mean? You gotta go above Andor now.
Andor was like, all right, okay,
yeah, we got you. Yeah, we know what to do.
Watch this,
Bruh. The last episode of Andor, bruh. Listen, it was phenomenal. Man. Listen, I can't even. Bruh. The whole series was great, but that last episode, man, the last 2 episodes, the last 3, just good, man. Like they were
bangers.
Just the whole series. I ain't gonna even say that the whole. But my favorite episode. What's your favorite? It had to be the last 3 to 4 episodes. My favorite.
Well, we got on this. Stu, you always do this. I start talking about something, and then you take us on this whole other tangent. We're talking about Star Wars.
Whoa, wait a minute.
He's like, wait.
Stop. Stop. The whole stop the press. I saw that. I couldn't help. I couldn't help that I wanted to see the score of the game, and I saw the Mandalorian trailer, and I let you know so we can debut it here on the channel for the people that's watching us right now.
Hey, listen, I'm just fucking with you. I'm glad you did. I know. I'm glad you did. That was awesome, man. We got to see.
All right, Last of Us. Let's get to it.
We got to see Mandalorian.
Let's roll.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that.
We're talking about Mandalorian. We're talking about that. We could talk about we could talk about Last of Us on Wednesday because that is review day.
Well, Last of Us. Wednesday we got a lot of Star Wars to go over, and but I don't know. I mean, it's just one episode. I just wanted to say that this episode was phenomenal. Last of Us.
I agree.
Premiere wastes no time getting into the grim and heartbraking and gruesome.
You have to, because that's how the game went.
The game,
That's how the game went. You have to. You can't waste no time. There is no setting up characters. None of that. There is no
just get right into it.
Right. There's no this person is crying for this week. None of that.
No. We just get right into it.
For everybody still here and watching, when you play The Last of Us, the game, it is an emotionally moving, emotional drama. It is a trip. It is they put you in an emotional car and take you on an emotional road and give you emotion on an emotion roller coaster that goes up and down. And it's a moving. The very, very end of the game is moving. Like it's touching. It's moving. And when you get to the end of the game and you watch the cinematic, it is just that it will move you. It will make you feel like you're there, like you took that journey with them. You know,
the game was so great that they had to make a fucking show out of it. They had to make a show,
and they had to make another game. They had to make a part 2 to the game.
But the show, but what's crazy is we were talking about Mandalorian and it was kind of crazy that popped up right now because the star of Last of Us is Pedro Pascal, the guy that plays Mandalorian. So it's the same guy.
It all comes together.
And then you got the first episode gives us a sort of glimpse into the world before the apocalypse, like just a brief one. Just a brief one. Caused by cordyceps fungus infecting humans. Fungus. And it's cool that they started out with a talk show from like the 60s where this guy's talking about how these viruses, one day we're going to have these pandemics and it's inevitable. And the virus, one day the pandemic.
And they don't waste time with it. He gets right to the point. They get right to the point with the whole thing.
But what I'm getting at is the guy's telling that shit about the viruses. And he's talking about how, we're going to have pandemic one day and it's going to fuck up the whole globe. And this is, we got to be careful. These viruses are out there. And the talk show host is like, okay, cool. Yeah, viruses. But the other guy, he's like, yeah, but it's something way worse than the viruses and the bacteria, something way more dangerous that nobody's thinking about. And he's like, what's that? And he says fungus. So fungus. Mushrooms, psilocybin, acid. He's like LSD. Where do you get that? From fungus. Mushrooms, where that's fungus. All these mind-altering hallucinogens are fungus, and we also know that fungus has a way of encoding shit. And fungus is actually taken over ants by growing inside them and completely taking over their mind and controlling them like puppets to do whatever it wants them to do. And this is fungus we're talking about. And that's actually a real thing. And they blend it in to the story. So instead of just another zombie apocalypse with some virus or whatever, it's a fungus that is growing in people and making people go crazy and you know,
turn them into clickers.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the fungus infecting the humans sets the groundwork for, you know, what leads the smuggler Joel, who is Pedro Pascal, on a journey to get.
See, that's what they messed up, because he was not a smuggler in the game. He was not a smuggler. He was actually tasked. He was part of a resistance movement that was trying to put the world back together, and he was actually tasked with.
Well, he will be, because
delivering.
the movie starts. Yeah. The movie starts 23 years before the pandemic or before the game. So you see this 23 year before the game part where the pandemic hasn't happened yet. It's just he's chilling with his daughter and everything's and then you see it unfold. But the season starts off, like I said, 1968. You got the two epidemiologists discussing concerns around possible global pandemic. One of them references air travel as a way that viruses and similar, you know, to influenza could spread across the world. A very close to home discussion, obviously, in 2023. We just went through, you know, the COVID thing. And so he says a new virus in Madagascar, say, could be in Chicago in a matter of weeks, and we end up with a global pandemic right away. And one doctor says, but the other epidemiologist, Dr. Newman, is less concerned about viral pandemic. He said mankind has been at a war with a virus from the start. Sometimes millions of people die, as in an actual war, but in the end, we always win. When it comes to viruses, we're always still here after the virus. Like, we always beat it. But he says there's one, you know, thing. He's more concerned about fungus, specifically one that can get into human brains, where the goal is to infect all of humankind. He said billions of puppets poisoned, you know, with poisoned minds, permanently fixed on one unifying goal: to spread the infection to every last human alive by any means necessary. And there are no treatments for this. There's not even a possible way to make them. We lose. This is the one we don't win.
The fungal infection, yeah.
And so then the story fast forwards, because I'm not going to. So some shit happens. That broke my heart. Stu, I don't even think you know about this, because I don't think this is from the game. I'm not sure, but I don't think this is from the game. So this shit happens, and it's just devastating. I'm not going to tell you. Watch the show. Fast forwards to 2003. It's like 20 years later. Oh no, 1968. So it fast forwards to 2003, right, where we meet Joel and his daughter Sarah. So his daughter and then his brother Tommy. And so it's Joel's birthday, right? So his daughter's gets his old watch fixed for him as a gift, right? And she goes out to do that, and there's a lot of police around for some reason. She's not sure why. And the watch repair shop tries to rush her out. She's like, okay, yeah, we got you. Just all right, yeah, we got you. Now go. And she's like, what the fuck's going on? Which is the first sign that something suspicious is happening. And that night, Joel gets a call that, you know, from his brother who's in jail. He's like, man, I'm in jail. I need you to come bail me out. It's like 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. or whatever. And so his daughter wakes up in the middle of the night while he had gone to bail his brother out. And he left his daughter at home. So he goes to bail his brother out. Hours go by. She's asleep. She wakes up in the middle of the night. Hours have gone by. There's helicopters outside, lights and shit. Cars are screeching. You know, there's a bright green light coming through her window, and she turns on the TV and sees it's an advisory for everyone to stay inside their homes. Then, not exactly following that advice, she goes outside where she sees the neighbor's dog, Mercy, at the window, and she tries to take the dog home, but Mercy runs away. He's like, fuck that. He's like, fuck, he just takes off. And so she goes in the neighbor's house, and she hears what sounds like pots and pans banging and sees a trail of blood on the floor. Leads her into where her elderly neighbor, Mrs. Adler, is now eating her daughter. And it's like the husband's there. She like killed her whole family, this really old lady. And Sarah runs outside, and now this old lady like looks up and just chases her like top speed, and you're seeing this like 99-year-old woman running at top speed. It's really bizarre. It's crazy, bro. And then so the monster chases her out, and right when it's about to get her, of course, Joel pops up, Tommy pops up, and they pop the old lady, grab the girl, and they take off in the truck. So Joel and Tommy, his brother, and they say it's not just the Adler family, to the daughter, because she's like, what's going on? She's like, it's not just them, baby. It's going on all over the place. Some kind of parasite that's infected, but it's mostly people in the city. So we're not really seeing it yet. But people who went to the city more frequently, the reason the old lady got it is because she would go into the city to see her doctor they would take her in there. So she brought the shit back. So now we're in a full-blown disaster zone. Humans have turned into monsters. Ready? They're all on the loose. I mean, we've all seen World War Z and all the zombie movies. So you kind of get the idea what's going on. Streets are on fire, and everything. Stores are being destroyed and cars. And, officials are trying to, kill off any infected people. Like straight up, if they're infected, just murk them, just shot to the head. And then some soldier walks up on them. So I don't know if this part's in the game, but I'm not gonna spoil this for anybody. But so then
it's in the game. Yeah, it's in the game.
So then the timeline. Yeah, I don't want to spoil that part. So then the timeline jumps 20 years later. All right. Now he's an older guy. He's got gray hair. He's older, and the apocalypse has been going on for 20 years now. It's post-apocalyptic Boston. It's like a walled-in little city, and they've got signs everywhere. You're not allowed to leave, and curfews and all of that shit. And there's like this new sort of police force, government that's sort of keeping everybody in line, and there's the sign saying cordyceps infection, and depending on symptoms, a mark on a leg or an arm or migrating to the face and neck, and a human can transform into a monster in anywhere from 5 minutes to 24 hours. And so bodies are being burned, and there's a curfew between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. So basically, as soon as from dusk till dawn, you can't be out. And that's to fight infection and insurrection. There's like a thing saying. And so they got, instead of money, they have little cards, little ration cards. So there's like little pieces of paper, and they buy things like shoelaces and whatever. And so anyone that's found leaving the quarantine zone unauthorized or coming in the quarantine zone unauthorized gets publicly hung and executed in front of everybody. And so we see Joel again. Now he's a smuggler, and he's making deals and trading drugs with the FEMA guys, who they're called FEDRA, Federal Disaster Response Agency. And they're sort of carrying ARs, and they're kind of like cops now. But it's FEMA. And so he's trading ration cards to this FEMA officer for oxy pills or whatever. And he's trying to get access to a vehicle. He wants to get a battery for his truck so he can escape the quarantine zone. He wants to go find his brother. And so Joel and his partner Tess want to go to Wyoming to search for his brother Tommy after they lose communication with him for a few weeks. And so alongside Joel's quest, Marlene, like another storyline, is the leader of the resistance. So there's a resistance out here called the Fireflies, and I'm pretty sure that's in the game. And they tag the wall with like a firefly paint thing. Yeah. So she's secretly hiding a 14-year-old orphan girl who is initially referred to as Veronica. Her name is actually Ellie. And so she's like one of the main characters in the game. But the actress that's playing her in this one looks nothing at all like the character in the game. Very different look. But she played the leader of House Mormont in Game of Thrones. She was like the head of Bear Island. She was this little girl, but she was like the head of this whole house and all these guys. And at the end, she stabbed a giant in the eye. If you remember Game of Thrones, that girl is the character in this, Ellie, and she's sarcastic, right? She's like witty, kind of character, and beyond what you would expect of a normal 14-year-old girl. But she's only known this world. A lot of kids. I mean, it's been 20 years. So kids today have been born in post-apocalypse. Like they don't know any other world. They don't know any other life. And so a student at the FEMA or Fedra military school, since she was young, Ellie finds out that Marlene, the one is the one that put her there to keep her safe. Marlene, the head of the Fireflies. Now Marlene has her and says that you have a greater purpose than any of us could have imagined, and she has a plan to get her out of the quarantine zone that night. And what's special about this little girl, it's kind of implied and you kind of can figure out, is she's infected with the fungus, but it's not turning her into a monster. So basically she's immune. And we got to find out why this one person is the first person, only person we've ever heard of that's immune. So we got to protect her. We got to get her to somebody, to find a cure. It's not really explained, but it's implied and you can figure it out. So Joel and Tess end up in the building holding Marlene's operation while, tracing a car battery that they paid for, but was given to Marlene instead. And there's some bad blood between Joel and Marlene from the past. They had dealt with each other. Joel had been down with the resistance at one point. Joel saying that she turned his own brother against him, and I guess that's when they fell out. And when Joel and Tess come face to face with Marlene, she has a proposition for them. In exchange for Joel and Tess getting Ellie to the team of Fireflies that's waiting for her wherever they're trying to take her, Marlene will make sure that they get the truck and the battery and the supplies that they want. And reluctantly agreeing to the terms, the episode ends with a nail-biting scene as Joel and Tess and Ellie try to escape, almost being shot by the same Fedra officer that Joel had been making deals with earlier. And the officer points the gun at them, and Joel has like a flashback to something tragically that happened earlier and attacks the officer and just beats him to death. And in the chaos, Tess and Joel and Ellie, they see that Ellie's got, like, they run the scanner on her and it's saying she's infected. And immediately they're like, oh shit, like they're getting ready to fucking murk her right then. Like they're like, what? You know what I'm saying? She's infected, but she's like, no, like I've been infected a long time. Like it's not turning me. And like, you know what I'm saying? So they're like, oh, that's what's so special. And so to close out the episode, you've got the 1987 Depeche Mode track, Never Let Me Down Again, plays through Joel's radio in the refuge apartment that Joel, Tess, and Ellie were in before they made their escape. And when 1980s music is played through that device, it's a signal from the resistance or from smugglers, from the two other smugglers, rather, Bill and Frank, that they're in trouble, that there's trouble. Basically, if they play a song from the 70s, it means this. And if they play a song from the 90s, it means that. If they played an 80s song, it meant trouble. So you hear Depeche Mode song playing and there's trouble. And basically that's where the Last of Us, the episode ends, and that's sort of where the show begins. So that's where, that's kind of how it ends and how it begins. And basically we wait to see why Ellie is so important to Marlene's operation. And if Joel and Tess, have walked into more danger with an infected teen or what. But like I said, I picked up on the fact that she must be immune, and that's why they're trying to protect her and take her somewhere. But they kind of set it up like, it's like, why is she so important? No one knows. And it's like, maybe they'll reveal that in the next episode. But for me, it was kind of obvious. Like, you know what it is? If you've ever seen any zombie movie before, or any apocalyptic movie or of any kind, you know these tropes.
That's the good thing. That's the good thing about it. In the game, they did the same thing. They revealed exactly why she needed to get to where she needed to be in the very beginning. They didn't sugarcoat it. They didn't hide it. They didn't do nothing. They let you know that she had been bitten, didn't turn, and they knew that they could use her for a cure.
They make it's pretty obvious.
No, the game is the same way. Literally, because you can't do this series and then have this long drawn out Hollywood type explainal thing. It won't work. That's what made it so. That's what made the game so compelling, and the journey that they took to get from point A to point B is the part that's so moving.
Right.
Yeah, I can't really divulge into it because it kind of ruin it for everybody. But they did a good job. It's just they changed a few things. But overall, still good. It's still watchable. And it's still good.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely be watching this every week when it comes out, because there's not many shows on right now that are of that quality. Like, it's the quality of like The Sopranos or any other HBO show. Like, it's an HBO show for real. It's not like one of these HBO made it, but it's just kind of some 2020 bullshit. And this is actually a really good show. Yeah, it's really well done. Full production, full value, full budget, all of that shit. Great writers, great script, great actors. Directing was phenomenal.
All you had to do is just take what the game. All you had to do is just take what Naughty Dog did and just bang. Sit. Didn't have to change too much or anything.
Yeah,
that's it.
Just
So
act it out. Yeah, man. Well, guys, man, it's 10:15. We've been on for 3.5 hours, one of our longest shows in a long time. I guess we're just chopping it up. But thank you, Slade. Yeah, it's about that time. We're about to call it a night. It's 10:15. Martin Luther King Day. Salute to MLK. And if you're in the South, I know you've probably been at the MLK parade all day, having fun and hanging out. Man, I miss that shit. So, but what do we got? Wednesday, we got some Star Wars stuff going on. What's going on? The 30th, we got Beto Art coming on. What else? Damn it. There's something. Fuck. I'm gonna tell you Wednesday. But anyways, guys, we're here. It doesn't matter. We're here three times a week, so you're gonna get it. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 6:30 p.m. every week. That's where we at. We right here. We live. So we'll see you guys Wednesday, man. And that's it. Have a good MLK Day.
Peace.
Hold on. Slade said, "Damn, Reno, when the playoffs is here, we gotta go hard. 3 hours. Oh, when the playoffs is, because yeah. My bad, bro. It wasn't. I don't do sports. I don't know there's a sports game. What is it, football or basketball? I don't know what's
football, bro. Football.
Yeah, I mean they're both going on, but
Slade, it's a good thing I turned on the game.
We got the Mandalorian. That's all I care about.
Lord, I want to see the score. I'm into sports. Reno ain't into. I'm into sports. Reno not into them, but I'm into. So I just had to see the game, and I like to see Tom Brady get knocked off. I hate Tom Brady. I can't stand him. Yeah. I hate Tom Brady. I just I'm looking at the look on his face now. He just threw a incomplete pass, and the look on his face is just bringing me joy. I'm gonna sleep good tonight. I'm gonna sleep real good tonight. It's 24-0, and I'm gonna sleep real good tonight.
Nice.
I like it.
Nah, Slade said it was still a great show though. I get it.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all, man. And but that's it, y'all. Peace.